If your goal in 2025 is to build a business that generates you $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, or even $1 million a month, I know that sounds unbelievable, but I know kids out there who don't even yet have a driver's license who are bringing in over 6 figures a month in profit, okay? And after having made over $10 million in the last 2.5 years and looking at some of the companies that we've scaled for our partners and clients this year, when I look at the companies that we scaled past $1 million a year, past $200,000 a month, and those that were incapable of scaling past $20,000 a month, it all comes down to one thing. And that one thing is their ability to acquire attention for free and create trust before leads, prospects ever need to jump on a sales call, okay? Now, I'm sure you guys have already realized that. You can look at every single person. I know guys we all follow who've built multiple 8-figure companies on the back of paid acquisition who decide to shut it all down to become content creators, to become creators. It is one of the biggest trends that's currently happening in front of our eyes. I've made 8 figures in the last 2.5 years. And am I necessarily the best funnel designer? Am I the best GHL expert? Am I the best AI engineer? No, of course not. But how am I able to print millions of dollars online? Because I'm able to acquire attention for free. I'm able to acquire leads for free. I'm able to acquire trust before people ever need to jump on a sales call with my team. And that's what's happening with every single company that we're scaling. Now, knowing that, as someone whose business, clientacquisition.io, specializes in building people's companies, people's offers, people acquisition infrastructures, people's sales teams, appointment setting teams, and building their entire process, wouldn't it be counterintuitive for me to look at people who are making millions of dollars every single year, knowing that the reason why they're making it has nothing to do with acquisition systems, it has all to do with their ability to acquire attention for free? Wouldn't it be kind of like doing a disservice to my clients to not help them solve this problem? The problem that we experience is that not everyone can jump on content. Not everyone can become a creator because it is generally really hard. So what did we decide to do? We decided to solve this problem with AI. And today in this webinar, which I had decided not to release it for free, which is why it's been over a month since we actually did the webinar, is because what I ended up realizing is after we presented this AI system that we've been building and this trend of, essentially becoming a creator online, well, what we realized is that we started onboarding clients who've been building AI systems and who have new use cases. As an example, as I record this, tomorrow I'm speaking with a client who's been able to scale his construction business past $500,000 a year off the back of IG Reels. Let me repeat it. He's been able to scale to $500,000 and beyond using shorts, AI created shorts. Do you know how crazy it is to be able to create 60-second reels that generate you millions of views and you never have to spend any dollar on acquisition, right? We have another use case from another client who just joined our incubator where he's been using and building AI systems to essentially turn text into video and creating shorts on YouTube content and monetizing YouTube channels, leveraging AI. So what I end up realizing is that, oh my God, this webinar is actually attracting people who can help us improve this system. Not just clients that we can scale their companies, but we're attracting people who are already investing in AI. And I was like, what am I doing gatekeeping this content? It's the most wonderful thing that I can do, which is let the value attract people who can build with us. Not just clients, but genuine builders, people who are already investing in AI, okay? So if you guys end up loving what you guys are seeing, or if you guys are builders of AI, please do me a favor, apply below. I need you to apply below, and I need you to figure out how we can work together. I believe AI is the future. And at the end of this webinar, or at least we're at different timelines in the video, we're going to be showing you guys a new business model that's emerging from these AI workflows. Eventually in 2025, I believe AI agents are going to be here, and forget about having to build an agency or business where you sell your time. Instead, you can come into a company, build and release an AI workflow, and retain them on every time that this workflow is ran, which is what we're doing at clientacquisition.io. And if you're someone who wants to be ahead of the curve and someone who actually wants to be safe and protect your upside and reduce the downside, then I highly recommend you guys start getting curious about AI, because it is the future. People had paid to join on this webinar live, and I was able to give them an offer at the end, as you guys will see, but the offer is not available anymore. It's because we're able to get more clients than we need, and we're now launching these companies right now. But again, if you end up loving what you're seeing, guys, please apply it become a creator, use AI to become a creator online, use AI to generate attention for free, because there's no company that we've been able to scale past $1 million a year or more that doesn't have the ability to create content that generates traffic for free. If I can offer you guys this one thing, please listen to what I have to say. Figure out a way to generate attention for free, or you will forever struggle to grow your business because it will be too expensive and people won't trust you. And you're gonna go bankrupt before you make $1 million a year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please let me know what you guys think. Please leave a comment. I love you. Bye-bye. Yeah, as I was saying, today's webinar is gonna be a little different because this is not, normally I would do webinars when we have clients who've maybe acquired, we have a great case study that we wanna present. But I did not actually schedule this Webby because of a case study that I wanna share with you guys. It's primarily because of this wave of AI that's just been making so much noise. For the last year and a half, I've done my best to try to stay away from this trend, this wave. But from the last few months of doing research, we're at a point where it's getting scary, it's getting risky to not be involved in this space, especially for service provider, right? I'm a consultant, I run an agency on the back end, right? We have have 30 plus employees on the team. So we run services, and the impact I saw that AI is about to have on service provider is so scary that I had to literally shut down what I was working on every single day completely. Like when I say shut down, I mean, I would go from worrying about building companies, helping people build talent, build acquisition funnels, build fulfillment, figure out a way to build products. I literally stopped all that and said, no more of this until I figure out how to do more of this with AI. 99% of my work. No more this old way, because I want to emphasize something for everyone who's here. The cost of intelligence is going down to zero. What makes us knowledge workers special is knowledge. So what happens when my intelligence, the cost to replicate it cost goes to zero? Are you telling me that we're still going to be able to charge tens of thousands of dollars for something that costs zero to replicate? Not really. So the risk, if you guys have ever heard a lot of investors, especially Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger used to say this, their advice was just avoid dying, and long enough and you will win. But the problem with AI is death is imminent for service provider who don't adapt. Like, I'm honestly saying that whoever builds these tools, these AI systems the first in any market, in any use case, can essentially go and steal up all the market share for an entire industry, for an entire vertical, and have the cost to fulfill the same thing that others are charging thousands and thousands of dollars for cost pennies, right? And anybody who's not on that platform essentially goes out of business. So this is not, I'm not doing this Webby just for the sake of like, oh, I have this case study, let me share with you guys and get clients. No, that's not the case. This is actually something that I'm doing for me, not for you guys. I'm just getting to share with you guys, okay? Something that I always like to do before we start is let you guys know that this might be a long one, so I don't do short webinars. I know some people do webinars like 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute presentation and they go in 1-2 hours of pitching. I don't like that. I generally just like to share insights for hours and hours. We have a Q&A form, so all of you guys will have to jump into questions after I present. So you guys can someone put the Q&A form in the chat, please? So you guys can, as we go through it, you guys will have questions. Please put them in the form, because at the end, I'm going to go through all the questions and answer for you guys and get you guys on so you guys can ask questions. The recording will not be shared to everyone who's missing it. So if you're not on today's call, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be, even when we do share it, it's going to take a while before we do, just because I don't see the point in getting everyone to know what we're going to be covering today. Again, if you stay till the end of this, we're for sure going to be giving some of you guys the opportunity to leverage today's AI system that we're going to be sharing. And one thing that I always like to ask for any any attendee is, if you can do me a favor, okay, this is going to be super helpful, especially with this AI thing. If you have Instagram, if you have Facebook, if you have anything with a story, take a screenshot of this, of today's just your screen, and just tag me on Instagram, and let's let everybody know that they're missing out on something special, right? And then out of I'm going to pick one winner and give them 1 month of free and be at the end of today. So if you guys please tag me, and then I'll repost you on my Instagram. Let's do it. All right. Anything that I've forgotten that needs to be clarified? I'm coming to Argentina. You guys just tell me, just get me a good looking Airbnb, great views, and can translate, but I'm ready, right? All right, cool. Let's get to it. All right. I was looking for a headline, and to be honest, AI is still so unclear that I generally don't even know where this is gonna lead to, right? Like, this is how crazy it is. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I generally don't know where this will lead to. Like, this is the beginning of something that I don't know where this is gonna lead. But I have a sense that there's a new path, there are a set of new companies being built where the only thing you need to do is acquire attention, and you can make millions of dollars online, and you don't even have to fulfill. So I call this the one man, one AI agent in $1 million per year opportunity. Okay. I believe there's a new path to $100,000 a month, building it and releasing AI growth systems. Eventually, these will be agents. I didn't want to call it AI agents because I don't believe we're there yet, but we're about to be there. I'm sure you guys saw this morning, I think OpenAI released that in January, they're going to be releasing their own AI agent. So this is going to be pretty scary. So let's get to it. For those who don't know me, my name is Serge Guattari. I run cloneacquisition.io. And I wanted to add this message in the beginning, which is I've made over $10 million in the last 2.5 years, and I've yet to stop suffering. So I'm not here today to give you the secret path to wealth or freedom and everlasting pleasure, because I still haven't figured that one out yet. Instead, I'm here to share with you what I've found to be the real meaning of success. And that is the freedom to choose your suffering. Do you have the luxury to choose what you're going to suffer for? Okay. And the luxury to wake up excited to build something that you'd build even if you weren't being paid to do it. If you can understand that this is the key to success, then you get to pick opportunities a little differently, right? I believe we all get started in business, or at least our aspiring entrepreneurs are always thinking like, if I become an entrepreneur, if I build my own business, I'm going to be free forever. And I'm like, that's how I'm going to make so much money. Then I'm going to be able to buy whatever I want. Then I'm going to be able to travel. Then I'm going to be free. But what you don't understand is that success is actually the biggest scam that has ever existed, especially success as an entrepreneur, because the bigger you get, the bigger your problems get, right? When you have nothing going on, you're actually a lot more free, because at least the only problem you have to deal with is the fact that you're not free, right? When you have payroll, when you have a team, when you have families, when you have a bunch of homes, when you have 5 cars and your monthly payments are like $15,000-$20,000 a month, trust me, you don't have to just worry about the fact that, oh, I have a job, I can't quit. No, it's like you don't just now have a job, you actually have now 50 other people that need your money every month. So the goal here is, can we get to a point where we figure out the basics and start making money online, and then actually then start focusing on a mission that matters? Okay. So today, that's what we're going to be going over. I believe this opportunity has the potential to give everyone the ability to choose their suffering. Okay. Cool. Now, some of you guys are new, so I always like to do a little bit of background on, on myself and why you should even spend a single second listening to anything I have to say. So I was born and raised in Rwanda till the age of 13. I have three older brothers. We moved to Canada when I was in 2011, I believe. And I did go to school. I was somewhat okay. I was never a dummy, but I was also not the most devoted student. But I could learn things pretty fast, so I never really felt the need to like invest myself. And then in 2018, I decided to drop out of college. I didn't drop out of college. I generally just, it was holidays for winter, and I just never went back to the next session or semester. Okay. I did door to door. I got an insurance to sell insurance, a license to sell insurance. I was wearing suits every day. Then I would get to the office and I would be asked, well, contact someone you know, contact your family, sell them some insurance. I was like, I'm like 19 years old. Who the hell am I going to sell insurance to? My friends? They don't care nothing about insurance. My family, right? And these guys literally didn't teach anything about acquisition. They couldn't tell you how to get a lead, how to get a prospect, how to generate interest. So I was like, yeah, no, this is not it. So I quit. Then I left, and from 2018 to 2020, I started working for this e-com meal kit company. Was making 30K per year. I think you can still see my face here. I'm just chilling right here. I was having a good time. Anybody who says that a 9 to 5 is bad, I don't know where they work, but I was not. I was having a great time. I was having the time of my life. Any company where you have bean bags like this, you damn know it's a great company to work for. Okay. So I had an amazing time. From the age of 20 to 22, I was living the life, right? Anyway, but while I was working here, since I was still living at my family's place, I I started seeing all these YouTube ads, and I started people telling me, hey, get rich quick, make 10K per month. I was like, please say less. Okay. I've done door to door. And if you can tell me I can make money online, I'll do it any day. So I did Amazon FBA, drop shipping, agency, consulting. So everyone, Nick Osmond, Sam Ovens, Iman, Scott Hill, say everybody in FBA, right? Airbnb too, but Airbnb in Canada is pretty tricky, so I didn't succeed. But I failed miserably at seeing any real success, so I decided to quit my job and go all in with my agency in June of 2020. So left my job. It's been 2 years that I've been trying to make a business work, and I still haven't made anything of myself. So I was like, well, the problem is probably the fact that I'm spending 24 hours to make 30K a year at my job. Well, what if I just quit this thing, quit this outcome, and change the way that I was spending my time, right? My dad was like, hey, why are you quitting? You don't have any bills, you're making 2K per month. I'm like, well, if I keep making 2K per month, how am I going to make 20K per month? You guys have to understand that, like, your time, unless you allocate your workday to something different that's more leveraged, you're going to keep getting the same outcome. So I told them, like, hey, listen, you've made your decisions in your life. Let me cook up a little decision. Let me pick a different path. I knew that 30K a year was costing me 30K per month. And as you guys can see this, every night in my bedroom, I would write, hey, I'm an online business owner, semi-passive income. See, I was still in that real estate mindset. You can tell I was listening to a lot of Grant Cardone. Um, and and yeah, I just was writing every day. I didn't have a business back then. You can even see the board here. I would write my goals and my strategies, but I was still broke, right? And luckily, September of 2020, so a few months after I quit my job, I got my first advertising agency client. Paid me 4.3K. Anyone who's made money with their business for the first time knows that there's no high that will ever be greater than closing a client and getting a stranger to give you money for an idea that you came up with. It is one of the most rewarding, most fulfilling, most like, it gives you so much confidence in yourself. The fact that you can think of something, then generate a lead, then generate a sales call, and then close a deal and get a stranger to give you their hard-earned money. That moment in September was the moment that I told myself that, like, there's nothing that I can't do. I generally think anybody who hasn't yet done this, like, please do it this week, do it tomorrow, because your life is going to change, right? So highly recommend everybody to experience this. Now, after signing them, I realized that I was selling the wrong thing. as the what the market the word thing as what the market wanted and could afford was completely different from what was being taught in the courses. This is the issue with courses. Most courses will tell you how to do something that they made money with a long time ago, right? So let's pick the agency model. A lot of people will say, hey, start an agency, maybe email marketing, advertising. But the problem is with those business models, um, today, because of the competition and the way that the market shifts, the thing they were selling back then doesn't actually work today. So I realized this and I was like, you know what? Let me actually listen to what the market has to say instead of the guru, right? So I decided to launch an appointment setting agency instead. Why? Because I knew that appointment setting was such a big pain. And Q4, so the last few months of the year of 2020, I made 12K, which was half of my income. So I was actually I was pretty lit, like as someone would say, right? I was chilling. And then January of 2021, I made 10K. So I made 12K few months, but look at what happens when you pivot and pick the right opportunity. I spent 3, 4 months making 12K, and the first month of the year with the right offer, giving the market what the market wanted, I made 10K a month, right? I sent this message to my aunt. She was like, hey, should I still go to school? She was like, yes, of course. And you know what? By the way, she's messaging me right now because she's in Ireland about to get something with the government. And she's like, hey, can you fly in? Can you book this hotel for me and fly in? I'm like, if I would still be at school, would I even be able to afford a flight mid? Anyway, so I'm gonna send her this screenshot and remember, like, hey, good thing I didn't listen to you. Anyway, 4 months later, I was making 30K per month. And I made, I think, 28K in May, right? So 4 months later. And but by the way, I decided to shut it down once I hit 30K per month. So I went back to 13K. This is one of the hardest things that any entrepreneur will ever have to do, which is kill something that is good for something greater. It takes more courage to give up on something than it is to start something. So a lot of you guys, once you guys see what I'm going to present today, you guys will have a choice, the choice to either pivot or keep doing the same thing. But I promise you, you will never earn the luxury of the new outcome if you don't give up something. You have to give up good. You have to give up good for great, right? I decided to shut down the business model and go back to making 13K per month because what I wanted was I needed leverage. I needed leverage. The business model of agency is so messed up. It is so messed up, right? You have no leverage in pricing, meaning you have to charge what everybody else is charging. You have no leverage in fulfillment. It's your time and your team's time that is being sold. So it is no different than having a job. The other problem is because you're commoditized, you actually can't even afford good talent that can do good things for your clients without you being involved. And most agency owners never actually hire good people because they're afraid that, oh, I'm going to lose all my profits. The little profits I have, I'm going to give up hiring someone else. No, I'd rather be a slave to my business, right? So I become a slave. I was making my yearly income every month, but had zero time to be. And you can add whatever be. It could be spend time with my family. It could be spend time trying to find a girlfriend. I still have no girlfriend, guys. So that's still a problem. But that's how business is. So everybody's trying to be wealthy and free, but it's like, no, you're actually signing up for a bigger problem. And one of the biggest issues, I'm a car person, I'm a car guy, and I love cars. And this car in my wallpaper is probably worth $500,000. And if I kept running this 300K, 400K a year agency, I would have never been able to afford this. Maybe after a decade, right? Maybe 10 years, 15 years, I could have afforded this. So I didn't want that. In July of 2021, I incorporated client acquisition.io and committed to a model that had more leverage. I needed something that I would charge, tens of thousands of dollars for upfront. I needed some level in leverage in fulfillment. I didn't want to sell my time nor my team's time. I wanted productized and having it require none of my time for clients to get value. And I also needed offer leverage, which is I needed to be unique and not a commodity. Anyone here who's selling the same thing as everyone else, it's good, but just don't expect much from you doing that. Okay. Acquisition leverage. I actually needed to acquire clients for free. This is something that most people don't understand, but you guys later on will get to see why this is important. So I came up with this idea of building and releasing appointment setting infrastructures, growth systems into companies. So instead of me saying, hey, pay me $1,500 a month, and then I'll do appointment setting for you, I said, how about actually install this system and the talent in your business? But since you're going to have an asset that's going to produce value time and time again in your business, I'm actually going to charge you for a lot more money up front, because it's as an asset that is going to produce in your business even when I'm not there anymore. So the value that is delivered by this system is recurring. So I can take a lot of value in the future and charge 10% of some, of a future value. So I went from charging $1,500 a month, $1,300 a month, to every client was paying this much money to work with us upfront as a first client. And I went from the 13K a month that I just showed you guys here to uh, my first $100,000 month in November of 2021. But what's even more beautiful was the margins. The margins were just ridiculous, right? So as you guys see here, look at what my team costs were. I had 7K plus 4 or 5K, so somewhat like 12, 13 grand a month, right, in payroll, to deliver on $100,000 month worth of income, right? This was so leveraged, right? And then a year later, 12 months later, I did my first $600,000 month in income, in revenue, and then a little over $500,000 in cash collected, and took home $250,000 in profits. So this model just changed everything for me. The idea that, hey, I'm every month, I don't care about your retainer, pay me upfront. I'm going to plug and play this thing. Okay. It's a protocol. It's a way to achieve an outcome and the system to actually do the work on your behalf. And people loved it. Right. So today we partner with business owners to go through the same model and scale them past 100K to 500K per month. So, this is just some of the numbers we do. 100K, 170K in a week. And I was finally able to afford this Porsche this summer. So I waited a few years and a few $1,000,000 to be able to afford this. So I'm not done with my money. But I thought I deserved it. I think it's once you've made 10 million, you can afford to get a Porsche, right? And this is the bedroom I wake up from every morning. And the reason why I had to get a penthouse, to be honest, is because I built this identity shit when I was going through Sam Ovens training. And as you guys can see here, this was probably in 2019. You best believe I had to get the best penthouse, and I had to get the Porsche, and I knew that success was a journey that you have to go through alone. No one is going to come and save you. You have to be alone, but greatness is ahead if you commit. Okay, so I highly recommend you guys get a penthouse. It's always good, but you're going to have a hard time finding someone to love you for you and not for this view. So anyway, but even better, I can afford to be present with the people I build with and our clients. So every summer we do retreats. This was last year. We went to Marbella a few times. This was last year. I rented 3 villas. This was one of them. This was pretty legendary. I had my 25th birthday there. This was Cape Town. Yeah, we just go there, have fun. This was on my birthday. It was beautiful. I cried a little bit, a little tear of success, because I had my brother there, my team, and my clients. And yeah, we're about to do, by the way, a retreat in Cape Town in February. So I highly recommend you guys join if you guys want. Highly recommend. This is where we're going to be going. I love sunsets. So every quarter, every summer, every winter, I like to go there. Okay. Now, as some of you guys know, one of the reasons we started this presentation was part of the Growth Creator series. And one of the things that we're specialized in is in researching, building, and launching unique mechanisms for our clients, right? So we build, research, validate offers that are proven to scale past 50K to 100K per month. And after auditing the most successful case studies we have, I realized that they were all selling something that we built from scratch for them and selling to a segment or a niche of the market that we chose for them, leveraging the insights and data that we've acquired. What do I mean by that? I mean that the best success we've created we've created. And the reason why I say that is because so many people come to us and they bring their services, their experience, and they bring stuff that they're doing. But it's like, because most founders don't necessarily have access to so much data and so many companies that they're scaling at once, they tend not to pick the best path. They tend not to have the best opportunities, right? So what we've realized is we've compared the people that come to us and say, hey, let me scale your business, or hey, can you scale my business, versus those that come to us and is like, hey, just give me what I can sell and I'll sell it. These out earn the companies that come here because we actually have back more data than most people. Okay. So I'm going to walk you guys through a few case studies so you guys can see it. Amar, and I'm going to go back to 2021, 2022. This was Amar. We worked together. He was running a Facebook ad agency before he started working with us. And we essentially were seeing a trend and a move in e-com where brands were starting to want TikTok and UGC. And in 7 weeks, we got him to go from zero with this new offer to $60,000 a month in 7 weeks, right? Imagine building a 700K a year business in 7 weeks, all because of picking the right path. So that was one. Another one was short form content. I know some of you guys may be short form content agencies. Jirov was worse than struggling, right? He was probably more in depth than anything else. In January of 2022, when I met him in London, he came to my mastermind, and a few months later, I knew he was great with content. I was like, hey, we're seeing some amazing feedback from the market. We're seeing some trends. We're seeing a lot of wins when it comes to short form content. So I believe you should start a short form content agency for personal brands and everything like that. And we weren't even running ads for clients back then. We were just doing cold outreach and sending looms. And they sent 50 looms in a week and closed $30,000 worth of deals in 1 week. 2 months later, he started having $20,000 days with one of our clients, right? And all of this is just picking the right pivot, okay? Making the right move. And some of you guys may know of this case study, Wyatt, 16-year-old kid who started working with us in December of 2023, so last year, and he was making 2 to 5K per month, and he essentially was integrating AI, right? He had access to Air.ai back then. It was still pretty hard to get your hands on Air.ai or any AI dialers, and we told him to, like, hey, instead of selling it as an AI dialer, because it's pretty commoditized now, you can just sell it as a growth infrastructure, but plug in AI as one of the features. And he sold it for $12,000, his first deal. And this was a lead that came from YouTube. And then 3 months later, he was making $50,000 a week, which is pretty life-changing in my opinion. And then 5 months later, he had his first $100,000 month in cash collected, right? And he bought an Aston Martin, which I don't recommend you guys buy a $200,000 car in your first 6 months of making money, right? I think this is not the smartest idea, but anyway, he's 16. He can afford to mess up. It's okay, right? Now, this has made me realize that our biggest edge over anyone in the industry is our data that allows us to know what works and what is in demand at scale. Therefore, starting today, we won't be launching and scaling any offer that we don't believe is worth it, okay? At the end of the Webby, 3 lucky founders will have the opportunity to partner with me and my team to launch today's AI infrastructure that I'm going to be sharing. And again, to avoid saturating every offer and infrastructure that we release, I've decided to create a Growth Creator series, which I'll be releasing every other month. A new offer, maybe could be another AI agent that we're going to be releasing. Okay. Today, this is for you if you're already running a business and want to introduce AI to stand out of competition, to make your business more profitable by fulfilling with AI, to lower your cost to acquire clients with AI. This is also for you if you're tired of not knowing what is the best opportunity for you, that has the least competition, that, find the best solution or offer to sell that is a no-brainer to business owners, that doesn't require super sophisticated fulfillment methods and employees, that delivers results consistently. This is for you if you've been looking for the best client acquisition funnel for selling AI solutions or any type of growth infrastructures. If you're not dying to solve these problems and enter better opportunities, then this Webby may not be for you. Okay, cool. Now, shall we get started? Let me know in the chat, because we're about now to get into the real juicy stuff. Comment, let me know in the chat. For 100 people, let's cook. Just comment cook. Cook. Oh, by the way, one of my partner who helped us build this agent, he bought me a apron or whatever thing, and it has cook. It's for a cook, so I'm gonna start wearing that in the next Webby, right? But let's get to it. Focus, guys. Focus. All right, cool. What is the best AI infrastructure to sell today? Before I go over the mechanism, I'd like to explain why I chose AI in the first place. In case you've been living under a rock, let me update you on what's been happening in the world. The largest market cap companies are all burning all their savings acquiring AI infrastructures, aka chips. This is the projected investment, AI infrastructure investment by major tech companies. 2024 is projected to be around 200 billion, right? You guys can see this. This is in billions. That means that they're spending almost 10 to $15 billion a month. Okay? 10, $15 billion, and people in Africa are still hungry. That's always the joke with people, like, hey, but people are dying of hunger. But these guys are burning billions of dollars every month, right? Over the next 5 years, the largest tech companies, Microsoft, Meta, Google, aka Alphabet, and Amazon, are collectively expected to spend over $1 trillion just in 5 years, guys, and related AI infrastructure. This is massive investment. Investment aims to secure their positions into rapidly evolving AI space and support the growing computational needs of advanced AI models. For 2024 alone, they're projected to spend around $190 billion in capex. Okay. Second thing is NVIDIA is now the second largest company by market cap. Maybe by the time this today, maybe might be the first. I don't even know, right? But one of the things that was pretty crazy to me is that 10 years ago, the market cap of NVIDIA was $10 billion. Okay? Just to put into context, 3 trillion is 3,000 billions. Okay? That's 10 years ago, their valuation. And look at this spike. It is ridiculous, right? 5 years ago, they were bringing in $10 billion per year with 20% margins. This is revenue. Today, they're projected to bring in $50 billion this year alone with 40% profit margins, almost $2 billion in monthly profits, aka $500 million a week. Okay, so I remember when I had a paycheck every week, I was probably making like $400. Jensen, maybe, of course, he's not taking home all this money, but $500 million a week in paycheck. You know how those guys are like, oh, I make 9 figures a year. Oh, well, good job, buddy. We make 9 figures a day, right? And these are the profits, revenue, profits and revenue comparison, right? Now, one of the things that I was genuinely super excited about was this idea that one of the places you guys have to study if you're trying to understand where the money is going is look at the venture capital space and prepare maybe a little bit of private equity. But look at this. 41% of all capital investments in 2024, right? Let's say in 2024, a total of 135 billion is going to be invested from VC. 41% of it went all to AI. This means that of all the opportunities, of all the industry, of all the niches, it could be real estate, it could be technology in the healthcare, it could be every single investment that could happen. 41% of all the money of that they're making bets on went on AI. Right? That means that of all opportunities in the world, 4 out of 10 are taken up by AI. And this is super exciting because that means that this is money. Because where do you think this $135 billion is going to go to? It's going to go to people who are building stuff, okay? Or this 55 billion. Now, As I was making this training, I had to make this tweet to remind you that hard work isn't the key to success. Picking the right opportunity and game is, right? Like as an example, NVIDIA, it doesn't matter how hard you work. You could work tirelessly and never go to bed, and you will never go from 300 billion to $3 trillion in valuation in 24 months, right? Judgment and picking the right game is the skill that no one tends to understand, right? And an even better, and an even I asked AI to do this, but while I was creating this, I had to remind myself that a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So the game is make sure you're in the water, and make sure you got a boat, right? And make sure you find the right tide, because if you're on this hill here or in this mountain or on land, nothing is going to happen to you. Nothing, not at all, right? Not blessings, nothing. Okay. AI is the biggest trend of them all. Whether you decide to embrace it or not will dictate how slow or how fast you acquire money. Your first successful business doesn't have to be something you do forever, but it has to get you rich fast. Why now? And by the way, as important for me to go through these layers, because some of you guys will just, I think most people just love to be told like, oh, start selling this, but that's not what I like to do. I like to lay down the foundation so you really understand the whole entire game, not just the, oh, you should sell AI dialers, right? Because that's the main reason why most people get taken advantage of, is because they don't give you the entire information. They just give you, oh, they just spoon feed you what you should be selling. I'm like, that's got to be the craziest way to build a business, right? So I'm going to give you guys what I learned when I'm learning about industries. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to understand is like, for those who don't know, AI has actually been around, or at least the concept of it has been around for multiple decades. It's not new. It's not new whatsoever. So I needed to understand, like, why is it that now in the last 2 years, AI has just gone crazy? So these are the few reasons that I got, which was computational power, the development and utilization of GPUs, graphic processing units in the early 2010s allowed for parallel processing capabilities, making deep learning feasible, right? Deep learning is how a lot of these models are built, right? Deep learning is a type of artificial intelligence, AI, that teaches computers to learn and make decisions the way humans do. It's like teaching a computer to recognize patterns and solve problems by looking at examples, just like how you would learn to recognize objects or understand new concepts in school. Imagine a scenario. Suppose you want to teach a computer to recognize pictures of cats. With deep learning, you show the computer thousands of pictures of cats and thousands of pictures without cats. The computer used special computer models called neural networks, which are designed to work a little bit like a human brain. Over time, it learns to tell which images have cats in them by identifying patterns such as shapes, colors, or features like whiskers and ears. So that's two, right? So computational power, the better these chips get, these computers get, it acquires more capabilities, which is deep learning. And deep learning allows us to teach computers, right? The second thing, which is the fact that cost of energy will eventually be zero. Solar energy, nuclear energy, they are the two things to pay attention to. Companies are relaunching nuclear plants because of how much energy these supercomputers, data centers need to function and produce outputs. Okay? Without energy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a great computer, right? You need a lot of electricity, right? Everyone in the States is incentivized to go solar. Eventually, you'll have the ability to resell the energy you don't use to big companies. Okay? It costs you nothing to create energy using the sun. So therefore, if you can create infinite amount of energy from the sun, then you can save up a lot of that energy and resell that energy to bigger organizations so they can leverage it for their data centers. By the way, if you want to know a niche that's growing, solar is growing like crazy, like insanely crazy. We have clients in solar printing money. So highly recommend you guys look it up, right? If it's insanely expensive to get enough energy to power these data centers, energy becomes the bottleneck on making this tech cheaper and making it accessible for everyone. If it is not free, less people use it. Hence why social platforms are free. ChatGPT is free. The lower the barrier the higher and faster the adoption. Okay, so that's why any tech companies, any software that really want mass adoption will really drop the barrier down to like non-existent. So I want to just play this thing for you guys. So because I think it's super important. Okay, so let's play this. You guys want me to play this? Let me know in the chat. Okay, cool. Let's listen to these billionaires talk. Cool. 1 second. Cool. Let me just play this bad boy. I think it's gonna be good. Cool. So I'm probably gonna skip a little bit, but yeah, here it is.
There's like a million things to ask. I almost don't want to get distracted by the marginal cost of energy going to zero, because I have no idea what you're talking about. That is fascinating.
Can I give you the 30 seconds?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So if you look inside of the two most progressive states, the three most progressive states, New York, California, and Massachusetts, a lot of left-leaning folks, a lot of people who believe in climate science and climate change. The energy costs in those three states are the worst they are in the entire country. And energy is compounding at 3 to 4% per annum. So every decade to 15 years, energy costs in these states double. In some cases and in some months, our energy costs are increasing by 11% a month. But the ability to actually generate energy is now effectively zero. The cost per kilowatt hour to put a solar panel on your roof and a battery wall inside your garage, it's the cheapest it's ever been. These things are the most efficient they've ever been. And so to acquire energy from the sun and store it for your use later on, literally is a zero cost proposition.
So how do you explain the gap between the cost going up?
Great question. So this is the other side of regulatory capture, right? You know, we all fight to build monopolies. While there are monopolies hiding in plain sight, the utilities are a perfect example. There are 100 million homes in America. There are about 1,700 utilities in America. So they have captive markets. But in return for that captive market, the law says need to invest a certain amount per year in upgrading that power line, in changing out that turbine, in making sure you transition from coal to wind or whatever. Just as an example.
Wait, you guys, am I not sharing my screen? You guys were seeing it.
You are sharing the screen, yeah. You just stopped sharing the screen now.
I was confused. By the way, for those who don't know, Chamath was one of the executives at Facebook. He exited the company because the company was so valuable. He was a billionaire from just leaving the company. So he owns a VC firm. He also owns 8090. He started a company that builds AI, applies AI to essentially replicate software. He'll essentially look at a software company that exists today, and he'll build a cheaper version of it with AI. Anyway.
Upgrading power lines in the United States over the next decade is a $2 trillion proposition. These 1,700 organizations have to spend, I think it's $250 billion a year just to change the power lines. That is why, even though it costs nothing to make energy, you are paying double every 7 or 8 years. It's CapEx and OpEx of a very brittle old infrastructure. It's like you trying to build an app and being forced to build your own data center. And you say, but wait, I just want to write to AWS. I just want to use GCP. I just want to move on. All that complexity is solved for me. And some law says, no, you can't. You got to use it. So that's what consumers are dealing with, but it's also what industrial and manufacturing organizations, it's what we all deal with.
So how do we get rid ourselves of this old infrastructure that we're paying for?
The thing that's happening today, which I think this is why I think it's the most important trend right now in the world, is that 100.
Okay, by the way, guys, I didn't say it. He's a billionaire. I'm a brokey. By the way, he's talking about energy. He's not even talking about AI right now. He's saying energy is one of the biggest trends. So when I say go solar, not solar, put a solar thing on your roof, but go. So here's the thing you guys have to understand. When there is a trend, money is not made from participating in the trend and being a consumer. It's you become an accelerator, a facilitator of that trend. That's why I say go solar, build an agency, Go help solar companies do what you know is going to inevitably happen. Just make it go faster.
Million homeowners are each going to become their own little power plant and compete with these 1,700 utilities. And that is
in the
a
United States or globally?
No, just deal with the United States for a second, because I think it's easier to see here. 100 million homes, solar panel on the roof. And by the way, just to make it clear, the sun doesn't need to shine, right? These panels now work where you have these UV bands that can actually extrapolate beyond the visible spectrum. So they're usable in all weather conditions. And a simple system can support you collecting enough power to not just run your functional day-to-day life, but then to contribute what's left over back into the grid for Google's data center or Facebook's data center, where you get a small check. The cost is going to zero.
How obvious is this to people? You're making us down?
Non-obvious.
Okay, so because this is a pretty profound prediction. If the cost is indeed go to zero, that, I mean, the cost of compute going to zero, I can
So the cost of compute going to zero is
kind
simpler
of
to see.
understand, but the
It's
energy
based-
seems like a radical prediction of yours.
Well, it's just naturally what's happening, right? Now, let me give you just a different way of explaining this. If you look at any system, there's a really important thing that happens. It's what Clay Christensen calls crossing the chasm. If you explained it numerically, here's how I would explain it to you, Lex. If you introduce a disruptive product, typically what happens is the first 3 to 5% of people are these zealous believers. And they ignore all the logical reasons why this product doesn't make any sense, because they believe in the proposition of the future and they buy it. The problem is at 5%. If you want a product to get to mass market, you have one of two choices, which is you either bring the cost down low enough, or the feature set becomes so compelling that even at a high price point. An example of the latter is the iPhone. The iPhone today, the 14 iPhone, costs more than the original iPhone. It's probably doubled in price over the last.
All right, 1 second. Let's go back to this 1 second. I want to just go back to the thing. All right, cool. Let's go back to this. So anyway, what he's saying, he's essentially just explaining one part of why cost of energy is going back down to zero through solar, right? But there is more to it. So let's get back to it. Where is it? Okay, here it is. All right, so that's one of the reasons why, like one of the cost of energy, solar, just going back down to zero, right? The other thing is data. Explosion of data. The internet, smartphones, etc., have contributed to an unprecedented volume of data generation. Unlike the early 2000s, when data was relatively scarce, modern AI thrives because of access to massive data sets that are crucial for training machine learning models. Structured and unstructured data. The advent of big data platforms allowed for the storage and processing of both structured, so databases as an example, or unstructured, which is, you can think of content, social media platforms, all that good stuff, which is also a source of data, which AI models can now analyze effectively, right? Now, the best AI solution to sell today is from this is where this presentation is going to get interesting. The problem, the value of your thing comes from the value of the problem you solve, not from the thing itself. So the best thing to sell today is whatever solves the highest value, aka biggest obstacle for businesses or people today. And for those who watched the last Webby, which we posted on YouTube, we introduced it. It was March, May, or April. We did a Webby around AI dialers, and people loved it. Still have clients today who are cooking and killing it with AI dialers and implementing it in real estate businesses and this and that, right? But why are we not recommending it today? The first thing is because commodity. I fear AI callers have become commoditized, as the barrier to sell dialers or implementing it has dropped so much that you can't sell it for a premium anymore, right? Not if you don't do things like content and you have a YouTube content channel and you have a personal brand somewhat, right? And for those who didn't see, OpenAI actually released their own
Hey, I'm Christine, and I'm a native English.
Anyway, you guys can hear it, but they literally released their own AI advanced voice. So, and this is one of the things that is scary with AI is that these companies, these LLMs, are getting so good that they're taking over so many features that entrepreneurs. So, as an example, for those who don't know, AI raised like millions, over 8 figures worth of funds to build the platform. Okay, and they were charging it to get to license their platform. I think at some point they were charging $100,000. But do you guys know what happens when, because OpenAI is such a big company, they're going to improve their models so good to the point that these smaller companies are trying to solve for a use case that are just logic, right? If you build an AI, of course, you're going to want an AI that can speak, an AI that can chat, an AI that can replace customer service. So it is kind of crazy for you to build a tool that solves for those common sense problems. So you go around building a big company, raising a bunch of money, going in debt, and 6 months, a year later, OpenAI releases this for free. And with a simple API, you can now build your own AI, and it doesn't cost you $10 million to build it, right? So this is was one of the reasons. It's like, yeah, but everyone is now going to be able to do it. So it's not really that viable anymore. And then another thing is GHL also launched their AI system, their AI dialer, their AI voice agent. I just saw that they released a bunch of features, right? So anything that gets facilitated by technology, I want you guys to stay away from, in my opinion. Like if it's in a software that has mass adoption, like GHL, where every agency uses it, what's the point of you becoming another agency with a Go High Level account? Go High Level is already worth 9 figures, right? So you have to pick a different path. So I still believe AI callers and integrating them for companies is still a good opportunity if you're able to sell it through your content. Key thing, if you have content and you acquire leads and attention for free, please, you could even go sell GHL. To be honest, you could even sell air and people will pay, right? Content and a brand online and being able to acquire attention for free is the cheat code, okay? So if you have that, please don't listen to anything I have to say today. If you don't, please listen to everything I have to say today, right? But due to the low barrier and how much competition is about to flood the market, you're better off choosing a different path. The difference between the 1% earning all the money and 99% of people struggling to build something profitable isn't their ability to create offers. It is not your ability to get leads. It is not your ability to get appointments. It is not your ability to get sales. It is not your ability to fulfill, right? Everyone is already selling the same thing. Everyone can launch ads or do ads, right? Today, you don't even need to be a media buyer. You can, I mean, to be honest, I have a friend who went to high school together. He quit his job and he's been wanting to just launch he's ready to go online. And he told me that he messaged me the other day. He's like, hey, oh, by the way, I checked out your YouTube and I launched my ads and I got my first booked call. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Do you know how long I had to wait and how much money I had to spend to figure out how to book sales calls for my business? And he just launched ads and he has no experience in marketing or advertising whatsoever. And he watched the ads launch playbook that we had and he was able to book a call. I'm like, are you kidding me? How is it possible? So what's the job of media buyers now? What's the point of telling people, hey, I'm going to charge you to run ads for you? The barrier is so low. AI is so good today, right? Or, you may be like, oh, well, I'm gonna start an appointment setting business. Are you really serious? Are you serious? You're gonna start an appointment setting business. Do you know how many appointment setters are in my DMs every day? Do you know how many setters? Everyone knows how to set. 1 million setters get created every month from courses. There's a bunch of coaches being like, the best path to make 10K per month is to become a setter. I'm like, really? How so? Tell me, how so? Who's going to pay you 10K a month because you're setting? right? So it's important to understand that the game is changing. Everyone also knows how to close. Do you know how many NEPQ people, closers? Grant Cardone has already created some. Hormozy has created more closers. Everybody's a sales, has a coaching, closing business. I'm like, so all these skilled labor are being, all these skilled people are being created every month. But I'm like, but who's going to give them a job? Okay, great. You know how to close, but how many good offers are there for you guys to close for? Right? And everyone, back then it was like, oh, everyone can do done for you. Everybody's doing done with you. Everybody's doing all these different fulfillment models. So there is no more edge by just being good at these things. I mean, I have probably 25 hours worth of content on YouTube on creating offers and lead flow, appointment setting, sales, fulfillment. And I'm just one person. I have like 100,000 competition, right? I own client acquisition.io, and I can confirm that I have at least 1,200 copycats who have taken my insights and gone on to make millions. The problem is that the millions were split between them, so each makes 30K to 70K per year. Hi, Sam, let me repeat this so you can read it. So here's what happens. If I have, let's say the market cap is 50 million, right? Or 20 million. If I get 1,200 people copying me, for sure you guys are going to make money. But the problem is the millions are now going to be split between 1,000 of us. So now we're back to making 30K a year or 70K a year. So this is the thing that I want you guys to understand. Like, is it clear? Like, I'm not here to tell you guys to become other client acquisition people. Please don't, right? And Lucas disagrees with me and says are still in high demand. I mean, listen, it's okay. Please let me know. I'll reach out if I want a job, right? And as Peter Thiel said, competition is overrated. In practice, it is quite destructive and should be avoided wherever possible. Much better than fighting for scraps in existing markets is to create and own new ones. Now, who want to know what the top 1% has figured out that the remaining 99% is still struggling to understand? I want some guesses. What do you guys think it will be? What do you think is the one thing? Let me know in the chat. And this is what it would look like. I'll show you guys. What do you guys think is the new? What do you guys think is the new gap? Positioning, okay. Leverage with content, okay. Personal brand, attention, yeah. Attention, infrastructure, 10% body fat, yep, that could be it. Leverage, well, leverage in what? AI content agents, attention, action and insights, attention, leverage, positioning. Well, yeah, some of you guys kind of like guess it. And it is, well, let me just show you guys who the 1% are. We know this guy, right? And we know this guy, right? We know her, right? We know him, he's fighting tomorrow, right? Besides Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fights, this Webby was the most important thing happening this week. We know these guys. We know these guys, right? We know him. But my question is, we know them, right? But one question I want to ask you guys, real quick, okay? Please do me a favor and answer this question. Out of everyone I just showed you guys, what is it that they're good at? Like, no, forget content. Like, what service do they offer? What solution? How do they help me? Like, if I was, so as an example, I go to Google, I get Google search, right? So, okay, Google provides Google search. I go to a grocery store, I get ingredients, I get food, I get whatever, right? Everyone that I just showed you guys, what is their main value proposition? right? Like, are they really good at, like, if you had to be like, I want help booking calls, would you go to any of them? Like, do they have the best book call funnel? Do they have the best email scripts? Do they have the best systems? Do they have the best e-com products? Really? Do they have the best education? So you guys are saying education. Are they really the best educators? Really? Since they want to revolutionize education, right? We have a lot of people are like, hey, I want to change education. I want to impact education so great. But okay, cool, perfect. How do you know how to teach people and change their behaviors and actually help them get good at what they do? Right? None of these people are actually good at any one thing. They're not the best at any one thing. Yet, they're still making more money than anyone who is great at one thing. Do you guys get it? None of them are great at offers. None of them are good at building, closing deals over their phone. There's someone out there who's a shark on the phone. But do you know what? He's not going to make any money because nobody knows him. There's an amazing setter who's not going to make any money. Doesn't matter if you know how to set a bird on a call. No birds know you. The birds don't know you, right? So I want you guys to understand, it is so crazy. The game is shifting. Like, the game is so crazy that it is generally just baffling, right? Hormozy went from actually being a practitioner, being in the trenches, building gym launch, scaling gyms, getting them leads, getting them appointments, getting them just testing shit. And the moment he stopped being the guy that knows the thing and just became Mr. Growing Companies, is the moment he blew up. Iman, the moment he stopped being an agency owner and started becoming a creator, the guy blew up, right? I'm going to show you guys something. This was, I don't know if you guys follow Iman's thing, but I'm going to show you guys. I want to send this screenshot to my phone. This was Iman's after his last challenge. I hope no one on this call. No, I'm not gonna hate on Iman. Iman is my brother. Shout out to Iman, right? But let me show you guys. This was Iman's after his last challenge. Did you guys see this? $1 million in cash in a single day. Right? The moment he stopped being an agency owner, a service provider, is the moment he started buying horses. Kim Kardashian, I don't know if she's good at anything. I know she has Skims. I heard Skims is good. I know she's now starting to have partners helping incubate and accelerate companies and acquire them. But does Skims really work in a factory of building clothes? Fuck no. The Rock, although The Rock, man, he does hit the gym. He hits great sets, right? But what does he know about cooking up tequila? What does he, even movies? I know The Rock is great, but like, is he really the greatest movie actor? No. I'd pick Tom Cruise any day over him. But he's printing money because he has what? Attention. Luke Belmar. I generally don't know what Luke does other than hype up a bunch of coins and sell the shit out of them and just, I guess, just scam his audience and talk about data sets. Like, he might be smart, but like, he just talks a lot. And he's a little, anyway, Ryan Serhant is killing it in the real estate market, but man, it's selling a home. Like, what many ways can you really sell a home? This guy, Alex Gonzalez, is in the Forex trading. I generally don't know how people buy coaching on trading, in my opinion. I don't understand, but he's buying Bugattis. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where are these guys finding the money? I don't understand it, right? this isn't just happening in the world of personal brands or courses or coaching, consulting, or agency businesses, guys. To be honest, it's actually even bigger in e-com. An old client of mine who was in GCP owns this brand with his wife, and they're doing around 3 to 4 million per month, right? And they're only spending like 20K a day and making multiple six figures per day. Her fantasy box, which is a product that will somewhat go viral, but they're cooking up so much money from being able to just acquire attention for free, right? Attention is the new currency, guys. Attention is the new currency. Attention is the new currency. Let me repeat it one last time. Attention is the game. You could be incompetent. You could even be ugly and teach people on how to be beautiful if you had enough attention. Like, that's how messed up this thing is. Imagine someone who's ugly who's teaching people how to look good. Like, that's how backwards this reality, the world we live in, is today, right? So guess what? As any smart founder, as anyone who cooks, knowing that the new wealth is being created from figuring out how to acquire attention, how to acquire this new currency, aka new oil, well, guess what? If I'm building a product, I'm not gonna go tell people, oh, this is how we book calls. Sorry for cursing, but fuck that. I'm gonna spend every single hour of the day to build an AI system that acquires us attention for free. We know that if we can provide our clients with a system that allows them to have the same edge as the top 1% of their industry, aka creators, it is inevitably going to lead them to printing more money. And they could actually be incompetent and they will still make money. I've seen kids leverage our content, our assets, and go on YouTube and start making $100,000 a month. And I promise you, they have no experience whatsoever in actually running a growth company. They've never literally done a single appointment setting campaign. They've never closed a single client. They've never fulfilled for the thing they're talking about, but they get on content and money just starts raining on them, right? So I would be lying to you guys if I came here and said, oh, we're going to optimize your marketing funnel or your appointment setting or your closing skills, right? Everyone is optimizing these levers and they're the wrong levers, right? What's the point of having 50% conversion rate on sales calls, 90% show up rate, 50% closing rate, right? When you only have 100 leads per month or per quarter, right? And when only 20 of these people of 100 leads are somewhat interested and curious about your offer, and the remaining 80 leads don't even remember clicking on your ad or your cold outreach message, okay? And I wanted to add this here because this was a tweet I was reading and I really loved it. And this guy said, my hypothesis on the future of software: billion-dollar SaaS companies are cooked. Marginal cost of building software products is going to zero. Why is that? Again, I told you guys that since intelligence and energy is going back down to zero, well, we actually can get to a point where since the intelligence, the AI is zero, costs almost nothing, you can literally tell AI to build you an AI agent that solves a specific problem, and you can go run that business selling that service, right? Because software builders are engineers, they're smart people, it's intelligence, it's a framework, it's a protocol. Well, if you can turn that protocol into an AI system that doesn't require sleep, food, then you can now you can democratize that skill set. So what happens to build bigger SaaS? In the next 2 years, you'll be able to build any SaaS tools. Need a CRM? Prompt 1, 2, 3, and it's made. Just for me, plus with every feature you need. And it's free. Many startups giants today will crumble. The only software products, this is where things are super important. The only software products that will remain will have the following: network effects. So you're like, you're the one that people use, everyone uses. Superior design. So you maybe like our Apple and people just love your branding and everything just feels good. Or the most important one is distribution. And you reach people. And at the end, he said, to be honest, the real winners are going to be content creators. As the number of products increase, the number of companies competing for the same markets and creators will increase, which it will increase the value of creators. The oil of today is attention, but it will be diamonds of tomorrow. Having a personal brand will be a superpower. right? So then one of the things that I needed to figure out is like, okay, how do we acquire this edge that creators have? Before building this tool, we needed to understand what makes creators so valuable and why most founders still can't figure out a way to create content when the barrier is lower than ever before. Are you guys ready to just see kind of like how I had to break down the problem of creating content? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Let's get to work. All right, cool, perfect. So for me, I had to put the frame. I had to like divide the process to understand what's keeping most people from actually doing this. So here's what I kind of like put together. The first one is virality. It is not just enough for you to be a content creator. You can create content all your life and it will still be, you won't get anywhere, right? So the number one obstacle is that most founders and companies don't understand how to package and distribute the content in a way that gets the algorithm and the platform users to push and refer others to the same content for free. Any business that unlocks the power of reaching hundreds of and thousands and millions of people through word of mouth, or you can call them shares, and consistently gets the algorithm to push their content wins everything. They win everything. This means the cost to acquire clients becomes non-existent and you literally start printing money from thin air. And I actually have this couple that I met when I went to the first acquisition.com cohort that they think the workshop that they did. I was part of the first group that they invited at the workshop when they were still figuring out if they're going to keep doing them. I met Anaya and Bryson, I think his name is, they're a couple, and they sell Airbnb coaching. They're both, I think they were like both 20, 21. They're like between 20 and 21. And they were doing $1 million a month. Why? Because she just gets on TikTok, she just gets on Instagram, makes a little Airbnb, and gets 200,000 people to view it. She gets 87,000, 100,000, right? Literally, I'm maybe they're the best at Airbnb, but who cares if they're the best at Airbnb? They could literally not know anything about Airbnb, building Airbnb, and still print money. And this other guy, Mr. 428, I found him on Twitter. I didn't know much about him because I don't use TikTok. I know TikTok is blowing up like crazy. And he's saying that he built a $3 million a year Airbnb business in 3 years. And I'm like, cool. That's pretty. That's nice. That's sexy. 3 million a year is nice. But I wonder how much money you made off of coaching. Because this Cullinan cost half a ticket, right? He looks good. He got nice eyes. So I could see why the boys and the girls would buy coaching from him. But guys, do you see it? Like these, like it's a printing press for money. Just create stuff that people pay attention to, go viral, and just claim that you're the best at doing massages, and teach people how to do massages. I might start doing that. If anybody's good at massage, just let me know. I can cook up a little YouTube channel and reels, and we're gonna blow up. I think we can make 5 million, right? But anyway, the thing I want to showcase here is they could have the shittiest Airbnb coaching programs, but their skill to acquire attention for $0 makes anything they do print millions of dollars. So guess what? Problem number one, I need to be able to solve this with AI. Because I'm unlike Anaya, or I think that's her name, that's how you pronounce it, or Blake. I don't have the skill, just like some of you guys on this call are, to just go and yap every day and just get hundreds of thousands of views online. So that's problem number one. We need to solve for virality. The second thing was value. The second obstacle for most founders and companies is the fact that they don't have any real value to provide to their niche, right? Content implies the essence or substance that fills a space, whether it's an article, a video, or a podcast. Most companies and people on this call have no clear process around creating valuable content. and sharing insight that meets a need, solves a problem, educates, and engages its target audience effectively. So think, like as an example, I'll show you guys. Like this was a video I made 3 years ago. It got 8,000 views. Like did 8,000 people really care about me or know me? No. But the thing I was talking about was valuable, which made the algorithm notice that, oh, people are actually spending a lot of time watching this video. So let's give it to more people who may be looking for this. And that's how you guys want to figure out how I started making 30K, 40K a month with an appointment setting agency when the price was like $1,200. Well, it's this. I was able to get 8,000 people to see my process and want to buy from me. No ads, no nothing, right? Or when we do put these these webbies online on YouTube and get 17,000 people to see them, or 200,000 views on 12-hour content. Like, this is the game. The game is, can you go viral, but can you also have something valuable to talk about? So I also realize that, like, well, not every company knows what to talk about. So that is also a problem that we need to solve. And this was one of our P&L months in November of 2022. Look, I wanted to show you guys the following. Look at how much was spent on advertising. Advertising here, line item, $600, $656.21. And look at the income, $513,000 a month off of $656 in ad spend, right? Profits, 300 grand. So you want to change your life? Pay attention, okay? Forget about being good at appointment. Forget about being good at any skill, guys, other than, can you get attention? Okay, perfect. The next thing is, well, you're not going to make this kind of money unless you put out one video. Like, you can't just put out one video and be like, oh, well, I did my job. I did what Sergis did. So what the other thing is, all these people put out consistent content consistently. So the other thing we needed to solve for is like, well, once companies and founders have figured out the above, you know, that, you know, the above out, and, you know, the new bottleneck becomes volume. You're not going to generate millions and hundreds of millions of dollars because one piece of content went viral. And even if you do, it will be short-lived. You'll make money for 1 month and go broke the next. So volume of content produced is still crucial, right? The brand, founders, businesses that creates the most amount of valuable. So it's the volume and the valuable and the virality of content that wins. So it's volume. No, it's virality, value, and volume. All three at the same time. And again, because why? Because volume negates luck. If you're pumping out 100 assets per month, it's inevitable that one of them gets you infinite returns. You don't need everyone to go viral. You just need one of them to cook, and you're never gonna ever not be able to eat, okay? So as much as we all know that the content is valuable, the three obstacles above make it so that only a tiny percentage of companies can create content due to how much effort and expertise is required. So guess what we built? An AI content agent that solves the three. All right, cool. Should I walk you guys through how we solve it? I get excited. I get excited about stuff like this. I like it. All right, cool. I'm gonna go through this breakdown. This one is gonna be more visual, so let's get to it. But let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, guys. Who wants to see it? All right. I'm not gonna keep you guys waiting because I've been presenting this to a few friends of mine, to my team, and they've been loving it. Because I built this primarily me and our partner, primarily just me and him and our content team. But I didn't actually share it with the team until like Tuesday. And they were like, holy shit, this is sick. So let me show you. All right, I call this the infinity. So again, we using tools. We used a few language models, things like Perplexity. We used Anthropic by Claude or Claude, whatever. And we also used OpenAI, ChatGPT, right? And I'm not going to go through like how to actually build it. I don't think this is the most important part. What's important is for you guys to understand how it works. So let me walk you guys through it. Layer number one to solve for was, again, what? Whoopsie. 1 second. I'm gonna move this here real quick. Oh. Ah, damn. Okay, this messed up. This is gonna be messed up. Okay. All right, 1 second, guys. All right, let's go here. First things first, we needed to solve for virality. So what we did is the following. We essentially build a first kind of like almost like an agentic system, right? Then the first layer solves for virality. What we are doing is we build this AI system. The first step of the system is, hey, I want you in this specific niche to go find me outliers when it comes to content, okay? By that, I mean, I want you to go on YouTube and find me the highest viewed content in a specific niche, but I want the ratio of views versus the subscriber of the creator to be really low or high. So as an example, I want someone to have 100,000 views, but only have like 2,000 subscribers, right? I don't want to go on Hormozy video and be like, oh, he has a $2 million view video and copy that, because that's not going to work, right? You want to find outliers, you want to find anomalies. So that's going to be it. So this AI system goes on YouTube, finds outliers when it comes to content, and then it does the next thing. It also does it on short form content. It will go on Instagram and find what? Shorts that have the most amount of views. Okay. And then another thing we also like to work on is ads. So what we've decided to do is we also want to take this AI system to go on ads library and scrape ads that have been running for a lot of days and where they're spending a lot of money on it. Okay. Once it finds these assets, it actually goes in and analyzes the actual pieces of content. It will find viral patterns. And then from those patterns, it will create a new strategy. It's going to go look at, hey, by the way, we noticed this pattern that like, hey, by the way, if you use this in the title, if you use this in the packaging, in the thumbnail, in the hook of your video, and you align this way, use this tone, use this, et cetera, this tends to go viral and cook a lot better. Or maybe you want to go sell to B2C, to consumers, and you want to sell Airbnb coaching. Okay, perfect. By the way, we analyzed Anaya's shorts and the most viral ones, or Blake's, and the ones that are started like this with this hook. And this is what he was promising. You want to attack these types of call outs. Or hey, maybe you want to go and compete with Cole Gordon on ads. Oh, by the way, here's the framework of the ads where Cole Gordon has been spending the most amount of money. These are the hooks. This is how he's been running them. If you were to recreate them, here's what I would do, right? So this is the first layer. So that means that we don't have to be geniuses and be content creators to know what works and what goes viral in any market. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everyone? That's step number one. Okay. Step number two is going to be the following. Once it has analyzed the patterns, well, I don't want to do anything, right? So the second layer is what this agent is going to do is it is going to, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. And this is where it is important to make sure that whoever builds, when you're building these AI systems, it's not just the fact that you can create a chat bot and put a sequence in. It's you actually have to be able to think better than most people. So what we realize is for the value problem of allowing any founder to be able to create valuable content, we needed to solve something. And I'm going to explain it with words. I'm not going to show you visually, but check this out. What has allowed me to be successful is this process of looking for insights. So I have this habit where, and I started this way back in 2020 when I just realized that, like, I'm not going to make millions from listening to what people in courses are saying. I just got to go find insights that most people don't know, right? So I was like, perfect. So what is the process that I use to go find insights in different markets and out earn most people? I have this habit of, I'll go find podcast, YouTube content, long form. It doesn't have to be paid. It literally has to be free. And then I'll listen through hours and hours of content every week. And then what I'm looking for is insights, mechanisms that someone in that niche is using to out earn everybody that they're competing with. Okay. So if I have a client who's in ecom, I did this to build my first agency in ecom. I would listen to this podcast in ecom that had amazing guests, and they would invite people making like $15 million a year with no ads. I would hear that. I'd be like, holy shit, this is amazing. So then I would tell my clients, like, hey, by the way, I saw this mechanism that this guy is using, which most people are not aware of. Okay. And then I would get them to build businesses delivering this mechanism to more people in that niche. Right. So now, how do we replicate that with AI? So what we've done is we've used this AI, we've built this AI agent to go and scrape, depending on the niche still, it's still niche focused. It is going to go find the top podcasts, YouTube content, all the trusted media sources, and it will listen in, scrape out the transcript of each podcast, okay? And then we've prompted it to take out insights, mechanisms that are being applied by a specific niche to out earn everyone. And then from there, using that process, I'll show you guys. It is going to come up with, hey, by the way, I want to go help solar companies. I looked at transcripts of podcasts, going through a bunch of content, and found that, hey, the most the companies that were able to scale the most profitably with the least friction were using this strategy. Okay, beautiful. And then we're using our frameworks around creating content, whether that be for YouTube, short form, or ads. We've prompted the system, and they're also using data from all these platforms to get this agent. Now it has the viral patterns, and on behalf of the user, it is now sourcing insights. So this means that you could not have knowledge in a specific niche and still go into that niche, because the second layer of this AI agent finds insights on your behalf. Okay. Now, this takes care of the value part. So the actual content, the quality of the content. And then the next thing is that it will create the following assets. It will create ads, advertising related assets. So think ad copy, video sales letters, funnel copy. And then if you have YouTube channel, it will come in, create bunch of long form content pieces. If you want to do short form, maybe you want to go B2C, it will create a bunch of short form content pieces for you. Based on what? Based on what's currently going viral, based on what is actually valuable for your niche, and you'll have the assets. Okay. Now, one of the things that I told you guys earlier on is that, well, we also need to solve for volume, because it's all great that I can tell you how to go viral in a niche. It's also great for me to actually give you the things to talk about, but I know you're not disciplined and you don't have the behavior to create content yourself. So what we did was, third step of this function is to automate the actual output. So we have 3 paths: AI avatar, AI animation. An option for those who really want to go personal brand is you can create the content yourself. You can shoot it yourself, right? Which we still recommend to still do a percentage of it yourself, right? But for ads, for shorts, for reels, You don't need to do none of that. Just plug in an AI animation ad, right? Like I'm currently running them as some of our main creatives, and look at the ranking: above average, above average, above average, above average, right? So they're killing it on ads. Or if you want to do them organically, these come from one of my friends, Justin, who was a client. I was also his client for his agency. He runs an ads agency, also and coaching business for agency owners or anyone who wants to run ads. And this was an ad that he posted on his profile. No, not an ad. It was like a AI voiceover and with motion graphics. And he got 30,000 likes, 28,000 leads commented, and 9,000 shares, which is insane. Did it a second time, 3,000 leads, 3,000 leads. And you also have Dan Coe, who also uses them. This one, I believe, has 1 million views. Well, no, 9 million views, actually. So these are really easy to go viral. I think Justin also has 1 million views here. I've used them too on my own post. I haven't done them consistently, but it is what it is. But this is one layer of it, okay? So I want to show you guys, this is just the animation, right? I actually want to play a few of them so you guys can see them. Let me show you guys real quick. 1 second. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick. Let me actually start with the AI thingy. 1 second. This is one example of an AI avatar. So let's play it.
Imagine this, being everywhere online every day without actually doing the work yourself. Sound impossible? It's not. And yes, I'm an AI avatar telling you this, because that's exactly the point. This entire video, the script, the ad angles, even me, it's all AI. You're looking at the power of an AI ad and content agent, designed to take the weight of content creation completely off your shoulders. Think about it. No brainstorming, no endless scripting, and absolutely no recording sessions. It's all automated, tailored for your brand, and produced at scale. Here's what that means. We're talking hundreds of video ads ready to test across every platform, with each one optimized to resonate with your target audience. You wake up, see which versions are bringing in results, and double down on those, all without sacrificing your time, energy, or creativity. It's like having an entire content team working 24/7, but without the burnout, without the budget strain, and without the scheduling hassles. You get
All right, so this is the animation. We also have been testing this with a few clients who are actually, so this is the thing. We have a client who's actually a few clients, we're running this to test this offer. We built all the assets that you're about to see right now with this AI system to sell this AI system. So it's fucking sick, but look at this. I'll pick this one, or maybe we can go to this here.
You ever wonder how those people are able to post 24/7 and never miss a beat? Here's a secret. They're not even doing it, and neither should you. Let me guess, you're already stretched thin, right? Maybe you're running on coffee and willpower trying to keep up with everything. Because at the end of the day, that's what it takes. You know it. Because if you don't, people forget. And the online world, it doesn't wait. It's relentless. But what if I told you that you don't have to keep running on empty? What if I told you that behind the scenes, we've built the most insane thing the market and myself has ever seen? Hear me out, an AI content agent. This is the craziest thing you will have ever seen. The lifeline you've been waiting for. It's like plugging in a content machine that knows your audience, gets your voice, and just runs on autopilot. When your business is
So
everything you'll see and hear in this ad is AI generated. from the hook and ad angle to the script and AI media. Then
Anyway, so we've been running these creatives to essentially push this system. And one of the things that you guys have to understand is that these essentially solve for the following, right? 1 second, I'm gonna go back to the mic. All right, 1 second. All right, sorry, my Zoom crashed. That's crazy. All right, cool. Let's get back to it. All right, so here's the thing. Let's just go back to and just summarize this, right? Because this is the first part, really. One thing we needed to solve for is virality. So like, how do you package things that actually go viral? And we have a few clients that we're running a few things for. YouTube, we're running currently YouTube for a few of our partners. And what we essentially specialize in is essentially finding the right packaging to actually make the same thing that maybe you would talk about go viral. So we have Juan right now, who's in e-com. For those who are in e-com, you guys know how competitive e-com is. But with his YouTube channel, he's just started cooking, right? Closing clients from YouTube in the last few weeks. These are brands that will give him a monthly retainer and a percentage. And you have videos that are just blowing up, 14,000 views, 44,000 views, 9,000 views, all because we're essentially finding the right packaging that actually cooks. Okay, and we have a lot of YouTube channels that we're running right now. We have, Gravir and in partners, which are in the restaurant niche. We have Megan, who's she's a client of a growth operator client that we have. We also helped her package her YouTube. Scott, I know you're on this call. Videos also started cooking. Nolan, also started cooking. One of his videos got 500 views and he only has like 30 subs, I believe. Kareem in the French market, cooking, right? 7,000 views. So these are all the channels some of the channels that we're running. And of course there is more, right? This is my own channels, right? But so the most important thing is like we're also ourselves are going to be using this AI system to actually find even more winning packaging and ideas on YouTube so we can get our clients and partners reach for free. That's one. The second thing is value, which I explained. It's like, how do you actually search for value? So this AI system is going to be able to essentially remove the hassle of having to find ideas. And then volume outputs, you have the animation. That's one, which we're using for ads myself. We're also using for clients who are selling currently this AI content system, content agent to test. And you also have the avatars, okay? Now, what I want you guys to understand is this here. It's the impact of this process if sold to a business or to someone. And we're going to use, to really quantify the value, we're going to use Hormoz's formula, which is are you giving me the thing that I want? What is the probability of achieving the thing that I want? And how much time am I going to spend doing the thing? And what is the effort and sacrifice required from me? this over this gives you the value. Now, if the dream outcome is potentially hundreds, thousands, if not millions of views or reach, and the perceived likelihood of achievement is highly, since the idea is created from success, okay? So meaning we're basing the content and the assets from what's viral. And the time delay to getting the thing you want is 0, and you don't have to do anything for it. Well, I actually had to ask ChatGPT, be like, hey, can you actually give me the answer? With time delay being 0 and effort and sacrifice being 0, mathematically would be dividing by 0, which traditionally approaches infinity. In a practical sense, a 0 time delay and 0 effort imply that the value is perceived as maximized, instant results with no work required, making it extremely desirable. So in this context, the value and the value would theoretically be infinite and or extremely high, as both barriers of time and effort are removed, making the outcome highly appealing and instantaneous. What can someone unmute themselves and say this word? Instantaneous. ChatGPT trying to get me caught up. Come on. So check this out. So now infinite value. So now the actual value piece is infinity. Okay. This means that this is the beauty with these AI things. It's like this becomes infinite. The value that you're delivering to people means they don't actually need to require none of their work, but you're giving them what they want, right? So now, this was layer number 1. It's like, how do you, this was like for the AI system that we were building, it's how can we give people something that the top 1% is not figuring out? That was layer number 1 of the system. There is layer number 2, which I'm about to go now through. If you guys have seen the growth creator breakdown that I did on YouTube, you guys should have seen this thing that I went over, which is the path to profitability or bankruptcy with your sales funnel. It's crucial to understand that content isn't just valuable in generating attention and leads for free. In the current landscape of business, long-form content is also changing the game. A few weeks ago, I recommend you guys go check out this video. I break down that we're currently able to figure out, leveraging content, a way to turn every lead to be worth 27 times more money than a typical lead. And I want to show you guys, for those who missed it, I want to show you guys some of like the application. So as you guys know, with Wyatt, when we scaled him, his first month where he hit 80K a month, we actually, I asked him we were looking at the data for his company and, you know, looking at all the leads that came in, calls booked, and we ended up realizing that that month he had signed 10 clients, right? But then we started looking at, okay, where did these clients come from? He had 4 or 5 setters that month. So Collins booked 10 calls, Fernando booked 10 calls, Bilal booked 10 calls, Charlie booked 12 calls. And they all amounted into 0 clients. None of them were able to actually turn their booked calls into clients, into closed deals, right? Do you know who acquired most of the clients? Dolly, a VA from the Philippines that we placed in his company, had booked 51 calls, which is almost equal to the same 4 people's output, right? One person booked in more calls, almost the same amount of calls as 4 other people, and all the clients came from her. Now, some of you guys may look at this and be like, oh, well, how? This doesn't make sense, right? You would expect that all appointments are created equal, but no, they're not, right? What essentially happened is all the leads that we're going through here, that Dolly were setting, were being set from his school community. And the difference between school community and the leads that were being set elsewhere is the fact that they had gone through content consumption, long form sales assets, right? It's the difference between, do you make 80 grand from 50 calls, or do you make nothing from 50 calls booked by 4 other setters, right? And you still have to manage them. It's just so much waste, right? And then the other business that we scaled was Dylan's OnlyFans consulting business. He runs a $1 million a month agency, and he also has a consulting business on the side. He was making around 40K, 45K, 50K cash collected a month when he started working with us. And I want to show you guys what happened, okay? We essentially took him from 30 calls a month, 23 calls, into averaging 3 to 4 clients a month, to a month later, we got him to over 230 calls, 182 show-ups, and 24 clients, each being worth around 10K, which made him almost 230K a month in that month, right? I want to show you guys the stats because this was so crucial. If we look at his sales stack, his sales thing, so we launched his first sales asset on the 20th, but I want to actually show you guys. Now, wait 1 second. Interesting. This is not working. View only. Damn. Okay. Anyway, I don't have access to this right now, but from this month to this month, we generate 23 clients, and all that we did was simply re-engage his audience with a long form asset, and just every week re-engage his audience, and made, I think in the first day after we launched his first sales asset for him that we created for him, I think he did like 32K in a day, which I actually have the Lucid chart. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys real quick. I'm going to show you guys the outcomes from these assets. I'm not going to show you guys what we essentially did, but I want to show you guys the wins. Because this is where once we saw this growth, I was like, what's going on, right? How do you take a business that's making 40K a month and make them 200K in a month, and without spending a single dime on ads? And I realized that the difference between how much money you make from your funnel, from your existing funnel, is actually not dependent on how many new leads you get. Everyone is always selling, let's get you more leads, let's get you more appointments. But what's the worth of appointments if they're not buying, right? So I'll show you guys real quick this asset. This was every single time we created an asset to, one, educate his leads. This is how much money he was making. So this was after the 21st, we posted it. The next day, he made $32,000 in a day. 5 clients in a single day. He booked out his entire calendar for the next week, and then he closed $100,000 in the first week, right? 11 clients. And then a week or so later, we re-engage his again and put out another sales asset, and 13 calls booked, another 14, 15K day for his business. And he ended up signing 17 clients in that first 2.5 weeks. But what you have to understand is that his business, when he started working with us, was here. He was closing 9K, spending money on ads, paying sales team, fulfillment costs, all that good stuff, only to make 46K. He made 46K a week in the first 3 days of actually re-engaging his list. Okay. So all this will lead to something. I want to show you guys because this is important. Boom, boom, boom. And also the other thing is for client acquisition.io, same thing, right? We went our first 100K a month. We went from 100K a month to 300K in a single month, right? And then started making $1 million every 90 days in cash collected from just, if you guys can see here, 7.4K ad spend in 90 days, right? While everyone is fighting for scraps and losing all their margins because advertising costs are rising and trust from prospects is at its lowest, we figure out the way to make each lead be worth 27 times by leveraging content. This is what the old funnel looks like. Most people just sit on generating leads via sell application, sales call, and making money. But the problem is short leads, short term, are kind of useless, right? And this was one of the campaigns that we were looking at. $7,000 week spend. We spent in a week 800 leads, 65 sales calls. In a week that we spent 1K in ads, we still booked 70 sales calls. And we realized that the difference was, what's more important is not how many leads you get a week, it's how many people are you educating and engaging at scale. Are you creating engaged leads in your business, and are you educating them? Because if you don't, you're going to generate calls with people who aren't worth much. And if you guys look at this data, look at this. Leads that are not familiar or somewhat familiar are each worth $100 per show up, or $339 if they're somewhat familiar. A lead that is familiar, really familiar, is worth $2,700. So the difference between you booking these calls or booking people who are educated and engaged is 27 times. Okay? So knowing this insight, guess what? I also had to figure out a way to use this AI content agent or system to create engaged and educated leads on autopilot for our clients and partners. So I'm going to show you guys. The first thing that we need to do is we need to be able to engage leads weekly, right? What do I mean by engaging? It means getting people that maybe already follow you, that already are in your ecosystem, to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm paying attention to your business, right? You could do this on Instagram. You could do this in your school community, right? And then from there, what we also want to do is we want to create educational assets. We want to build sales assets meant to educate and convert leads into believers at scale without needing to build a huge sales and appointment setting team. So as an example, a good long form asset, like for Dylan, we built this asset, was an hour long, and it made him 200 grand in the first month, right? Which I showed you guys here, right? So now that we're able to build these assets leveraging our systems and create these bangers and scale for our partners, imagine the impact you're able to have if you can have 10x the level of engaged leads and 10x the amount of educated leads, solving the most painful problems businesses are facing. Most people are not struggling anymore with getting leads. Everybody complains about quality of leads, low show up rate, and how much cash collected they collect from sales calls they book for their business. Simply because this asset, this AI system, is going to nurture the hell out of the leads before we ask them to purchase any single thing. So let me walk you guys through the actual workflow. Okay, let me show you how we solved for this. So as I showed you guys, this was system number one. This is just like, okay, how do we get attention for free? But one of the things that a lot of people, even creators, most of them are actually broke. And the reason why they don't know why they're broke is because of the following. I'm going to move this here. Boom. Oops. All right, cool. Check this out. So the first system will get us traffic, correct? With content created for us, value created for us, outputs created for us. And if you have, the next thing you would need is just capture those leads. You can do it with a community, newsletter, application, right? But here's where things get interesting. Once we have the leads in a community, we're going to be using an onboarding form. In school, you can do it. In a Facebook group, you can do it. If you're, you can just build literally an onboarding form on GHL. And you want to ask people questions. Hey, what are the top 3 things that you're currently dealing with? Or what is the most important problem that you want to solve for your business or that you want to access? And then the AI agent is essentially going to take the prospect's answer, the data, and what it's going to do is it's going to take the company's IP, the company's intellectual property or content or on a process on how to solve that problem. And then it is going to use clientacquisition.io's process selling VSL framework to create a 5 to 10 page asset that solves this leads problem without anyone's involvement. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is it is going to create an engagement asset, which could be like a 2-step post or like a message or like an ad promoting what it had just created for every single lead that comes into your funnel. And then from there, all your setter have to do is take this asset and go to the lead and say, hey, by the way, I saw that this is your problem. We actually just created this asset for you. Would you like to see it? All they have to do is, hey, here's the asset, and validate consumption. Once the lead has consumed the content, you book them on a call, and you book a sales call with a prospect that's worth $3,000. Instead of what? Booking calls with people who are useless for you. And if the lead has not yet consumed it, just please follow up, get them to watch it. Because we know that every single person will get value, and so where we can showcase our processes before they ever book a sales call with us, essentially makes us print money like never before. Okay? So now we have this system that not only can go on these platforms and get us virality for close to free, create value for nothing, and we use AI avatars to get the ads running, to get the AI animation and AI voiceover, or maybe our content on YouTube to blow up. On top of that, it is also creating sales assets that are personalized to the business, to the prospects. And all the sales team needs is, guys, just get the leads what they want, the education, just take what the AI built following our framework and just cook. Right? This is going to change everything, because what you guys have to understand is that this opens up a realm of infinite paths to wealth creation. This means that this AI content system means if you decide to want to go help software businesses, you can now enter any category of business, get the system to generate you attention and capture leads for 1/100th of the cost of attention, and not needed to spend money, millions on ads or spend hours creating content, right? Because the AI is going to create the thing that's already going viral and attracting these people's attention. And then from there, once you get the leads, the AI is now going to convert and nurture and get the leads engaged with AI generated sales assets, right? Allowing the company to be insanely lean. And in my opinion, I can see a path where you can build a $100,000 a month business with you being the founder, one VA, one setter. Eventually you can just have AI dialers, right? And one closer. That's all you need. And maybe just have a community, have one content agent system that gets you all the traffic you need and a little bit of paid ads to just get the thing moving. Because it is the only way, guys, it is the only way that you make sense of these type of numbers with only spending 2.7K on ads and making $500,000. Like, I generally don't know anyone who makes a lot of profits by booking calls with strangers who don't yet trust them. This is all a function of one. It's all the same thing. It's you use content to get you people, to get you leads, and you also use sales assets to nurture those people before they get on a sales call. If you try to set people and try to close people on your service and they don't know you, they don't trust you, you're not going to break even. You're gonna be losing money on your business. While there are people who are leveraging content to make people give them so much money, right? So the new company building scaling playbook is really the following. You pick a niche, you acquire attention for free, leveraging an AI content agent. You build the unique mechanism that you want to sell, right? We have an AI offer creation agent that I'm going to be dropping soon. That's not the focus for now, but also use the AI to actually create sales assets. And humans in your business just are meant to collect and send a check or an invoice. That's it, right? Is it clear? Do you guys see it? Let me know in the chat, please. Cool. Now, perfect. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys is the following. I know some of you guys are asking to demo it, but I'm not going to demo it right now. The sales assets part, the first system, that's easy because all the assets that were there were from the actual system, right? But I want to show you guys something that's pretty interesting, which was actually what got me even more excited. And that is the retention model for your build and release offer. For those who want to kind of like build systems and implementing them into companies, AI opens up a great opportunity, right? And this is probably going to be the most exciting part of this entire presentation because of the following. The greatest failure most entrepreneurs experience is becoming a one-hit wonder, right? You build a business, make a lot of money for a year or two, and everything crumbles because you never built a model that was durable and sustainable. You never learned to make it's because you never learned to make time your ally, right? So like with time that goes by, you don't actually get luckier and wealthier. You just got rich once. The second regret every founder experiences is never experiencing true freedom, aka making money while you sleep and having none of your time and effort required to deliver value. There is a group of founders who will build great service companies and build durable companies, but they're slaves to the day-to-day. No matter how much money you get paid for your time, if you never learn to acquire leverage in your fulfillment, you will have failed as an entrepreneur. So what does this have to do with AI? Everything. It has everything to do with AI. As I was studying and researching for this Webby, we were building this content agent. I stumbled on the conversation between Joe and Elad, which Elad, is an angel investor. He's also built his own companies, invested in over 50 companies, all these, the great ones, and also has a VC firm or a fund that he essentially invests in different companies, right? But check this out. He's more interesting. Joe essentially started working at PayPal while he was attending Stanford. He was hired by Peter Thiel while they were building PayPal, and he co-founded Palantir. Palantir is a tech company that primarily focuses on defense, and they essentially build defense tools for governments, right? The company is now worth 100 billion. He's built now over 4 companies that are each worth $1 billion, and he also has a wealth management platform which has over $2 trillion in assets, and he also has a venture capital firm with $6 billion that he's allocating, right? But I want you guys to hear this part because this one was the most important part. One second. Let me just remove my audio. So check this out. In this section, he's essentially he's asking Elad, like, hey, what do you think is the application of AI? And this was where things got a little exciting. So check this out.
GPT-7, maybe they just like do it out of their company themselves, even better than our services company, and all of a sudden they're competing with us directly, or if they wanted to, or
It's always possible, but I think it comes down to like, what is the other tooling that's needed around what you're doing or what you're providing? And so the things that I'm bullish on are where you own a workflow for a vertical.
Yep.
And so everybody in that vertical is using that workflow.
So you're in the workflow directly.
Yeah. And so if you upgrade the model, it just makes that workflow better.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what the model
That's how I see it. Maybe challenge this model for me just really briefly. I talk about 5 layers for the AI value stack. So the bottom layer is like NVIDIA and chips and everything. Sure. The next one's the data centers that all of our friends, family offices are putting tons of money into. And then it's like the models, whether it's Elon's X or OpenAI or Anthropic. Then it's like level 4 would be the tools for deploying AI, which there's a bunch of interesting ones. It's like data infrastructure, Palantir's trying to do things there. A lot of interesting things there. And then level 5 is actually owning the workflow services company. Where that's where I'm building like probably a dozen things right now, which you're doing a lot too. So which of those 5 are you most bullish on? Which are you spending time on?
Yeah, I'm mainly spending time on the top 3.
Okay, please let me pause this. Did you guys get it? Who can? No, you guys didn't get it. Okay, so I'll replay this real quick because it's super important. It's super important, guys. Please pay attention.
They're competing with us directly, or if they wanted to, or you
It's
know.
always possible, but I think it comes down to like, what is the other tooling that's needed around what you're doing or what you're providing? And so the things that I'm bullish on are where you own a workflow for a vertical.
Yep.
And so everybody in that vertical is using that workflow.
So you're in the workflow directly.
Yeah, and so if you upgrade the model, it just makes that
Own the workflow. Okay. And also, I want to show you guys here. Listen to what Joe is going to say.
well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has that and sort of
Yeah.
but yeah, I've mainly been focused on the top three of those layers. The other thing I've been doing is actually been backing. I've now backed. Entity can go and roll up other
Yep.
companies in its vertical, and so I think that's very exciting.
This is what we're doing too, like,
By putting in AI in a deep way, and then that entity can go and roll up other
Yep.
companies in its vertical. And so I think that's very exciting.
this is what we're doing too, like with the healthcare billing and the logistics billing and other ones like that, is we'll grow organically at first, but then we'll go inorganically.
Yeah.
And there's principles for inorganic growth with AI that are pretty
Yeah.
crazy right now, which is what.
So let me go back to my cooking. I'm going to break this down for you guys because this changes everything. And yeah, I mean, 400 people on this webby, you guys are going to like this. So let me show you guys real quick. So own the workflow for a vertical. And Elad has a few companies doing this, or at least he's betting on this idea here. And Joe is currently building a dozen Compass AI workflow companies, service companies that essentially, well, he's going on billing. So he's focusing on billing. So imagine he's looking at the billing workflow and essentially he's building a use case with an AI system that goes in and solves that specific thing. What this means for entrepreneurs building in the era of AI is the following. I'll use an example of someone who is in the growth operator niche because I know some of you guys are in it and you guys are broke. So let me help you guys out. So check this out. Let's say you help creators monetize your audience, right? Here's how I would do it if I was you. Instead of selling your time, you have to understand you're not going to have more lives. Like this is not Call of Duty. This is not FIFA. This is not a game. This is like today we won't get more of it. Right? Today is the only day you have. Tomorrow might not be promised. So you don't have the luxury to think that you're just going to build a business and be like, okay, I'm going to work from 9 to 5 and then I'm going to drink a glass of wine at the end of the day and then maybe I get to watch a movie. No, what are you doing? You have to enjoy your 9 to 5. Don't work and then wait to live. Live and work at the same time. You have to do what you enjoy. You have to generally spend every day cooking something that you would be cooking regardless. So let's stop selling our time. So this is how I would do it. No more done for you services. No more. I don't care if the creator is the most famous person. And whenever you start doing done for you for them, and you do that one big launch and then they make 100K and you're like, oh yeah, this is such a great life. Okay, perfect. How about this? Where are the next needs going to come from? Who's going to fulfill? What happens when the product starts becoming shit? And then the creator is like, hey, why are you not helping me? Why are we not making money? What's going on? Right? Here's what I would do instead. I'm not partnering up with any model, any creator model whatsoever. Instead, I'm going to go to every creator and I'm going to be like, hey guys, this is the same launch system we've used to make $250,000 in a week. You're going to pay me 15 grand. I'm going to implement it in your business. I'm going to help you launch it, right? And it's going to take us 4 weeks. And I can implement it in actually a single week, okay? This means you monetize way more creators than you would, since most of them wouldn't be worth partnering up with in the first place. You get paid up front, right? It doesn't have to be 15K, could even be 7,000. Everything you build and release can be built once and released multiple times. Therefore, the cost to fulfill is minimal. Let me emphasize this. As an example, one of the things we do really well is these webinars, right? Well, if one of our partners wants to do a webinar and do $500,000 in a month, I don't actually need to do much because we own the workflow, we own the systems, we already own the playbook. So if he or she wants to leverage our playbook, I'm not going to charge less than 25,000 because I've made millions with webinars. Okay. So I'm going to build and release that into his company or her company, and I'm going to charge 25 grand. Okay. And then the ones or the creators that end up doing the best with the first initial system, then I'm going to be like, huh, this person has what it takes to actually be worth partnering up with. So you just partner up with them. So this would look something like this. Your front end offer would look something like this. You help them with their offer, you build their community, you build their sales process, and you give them access to talent. Okay. How do you figure out what infrastructure to build and release? You can pick and choose which workflow you want to do, right? You can maybe, for the offer process, you can use client acquisition.io framework. Or how to get traffic, you can decide, are you going to help them with, is your growth infrastructure going to rely on ads? Is it going to rely on short form? Is it going to rely on a YouTube funnel? Your funnel mechanism to capture leads, is it going to be a SLO, self-liquidating offer, like a low ticket product? Is it going to be a free community? Is it going to be a VSL? Is it going to be a YouTube creator funnel, right? And then how are you going to convert these leads once they're in? Are you going to use setters or AI dialers and closers? Or are you going to do a Webby? Or are you going to do challenges? So you get to really pick and choose what your infrastructure looks like. I know a lot of people think that you have to just sell what everybody's selling, but no, the more unique it is to your process, the more money you're going to make. So I would pick and choose what I want to build and release, and I would stick to that. And I would charge 10, 15 grand upfront for implementing this infrastructure, which is you just implement the same thing over and over again. Your retention offer is what gets exciting. Instead of relying on humans to service your clients done for you in order to get them to stick around and keep paying them every month, because the traditional way was, okay, once you have partners or people in your product, well, if you want to start charging them more money, you have to give them more services. But the issue with running a service business is that margins disappear as soon as you start hiring more people. Instead of doing this, you simply build an AI workflow. You can call it an AI assistant. Eventually, these will be AI agents that solves a recurring need for your clients. And you charge per usage, and you charge a monthly retainer for management. And this is what it would look like. This would be your front-end offer, and this would be your back-end offer. One AI workflow that solves something like content, okay? And you can also offer management of the system or consulting on the back end. And the beauty of this is, imagine a world where you get paid tens of thousands of dollars for each new client infrastructure you essentially implement into a company. And then every single person who bought that first infrastructure can be retained on an AI system that costs you nothing and requires none of your time to deliver the value on a recurring basis. So this is what the business model looks like essentially. You get 6 to 7 clients a month where you're implementing an infrastructure that you saw works for others. You charge a lot of money. That money allows you to acquire talent, insights, data, and systems. So you don't actually need to figure this out yourself. You can actually sell, make a lot of money up front, and go hire the people. Once you hire the people, the best people, you get more clients, more wins, more data. And as you get all those new things, the infrastructure gets better. So the price goes even higher. But as you're building, this first thing here is acquiring you profits and it's acquiring you margins. You retain people on an AI workflow. Traditionally, when I did this build and release model, I was saying that you can kind of like retain them on community or like some assets or some leveraged work like paid ads and things like that. But I've realized that like there is no margins in service, no matter how you put it, to be honest. And AI is literally coming to save us, right? So you can now, everyone who paid for this 10 grand, 15 grand is going to be happily and excited to pay you 1,000 a month, 2,000 or $500 a month to use an AI that solves a recurring need like content, ads, and every time they use it, you get paid, and you don't have anything. And this will probably easily be a 95% profit margins on the back end. And guess what? The more usage, the more data, the better the AI system gets, and the better it gets, the stickier the solution gets. For each million you bring in on your front end offer, you probably can retain $100,000 a year in recurring revenue. This should be a year, not a month, right? So leveraging this AI, is that clear, guys? By the way, like, do you guys see it? How you sell, the reason why we don't want to sell, most people make the mistake of selling AI as a front-end offer. But the problem with AI is that it's technology, so it's deflationary, meaning it's tech. Like tech is just, people are not going to pay much. So you need to still sell something sophisticated on the front end, but then retain with an AI assistant, a system that you own, and that just does the work for free, right? Cool. Let's get back to it. Leveraging AI in your build and risk offer avoids you the two most painful failure scenarios for entrepreneurs. One hit wonder, your front-end offer affords you ridiculous profits, margins, and your back-end AI agents delivers value that your clients are willing to pay for every single day, week, month. The more clients you acquire, the more money you have to acquire more clients. The more clients you acquire, the more stick around on your back-end AI system. This is how you make time your ally and inevitably become more successful with every passing second, minute, hour, or day. Being a slave to your business, this is the second problem. Well, you never have to stick to selling your time anymore. You can build a really big team that is hard to manage, and you don't have to sacrifice quality of the service or done-for-you services. Instead, you build AI agents that work for your clients while you sleep, spend time with family, drink wine, travel the world, etc. The client wins, things are done for them. You win because you keep your profits, you keep your sanity, you keep your time, which is the most beautiful thing an entrepreneur can experience. And this is why billionaires are paying attention to this AI revolution and building, because they've realized, like, oh my God. And I know this is kind of like pretty crazy that technically all that we're saying this can be summarized by saying that, oh, people are not going to need employees anymore. So if you know billionaires, they're all for optimization. So they're the master puppet. So anything they can do to just have more margins, they're going to do it, right? But this is an opportunity for the other side. You guys can see this is essentially saying that now anyone who can be smart enough and curious enough to know how to solve a problem for a specific niche now has the luxury to train an AI solution to do that, to deliver that process and have it do the work on their behalf and be free from working, right? Now, who's ready to leverage our AI content system to never lack attention, leads, sales calls, or demand for their businesses? Let me know in the chat. Then I'm going to get into the real stuff. We're about to wrap it up. Let me know in the chat if you guys want to see, because this is essentially the opportunity for you guys to see how this can help you guys out, right? Let's get it. All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's cook. Wait, let's go back. So many tabs. I keep getting lost in these tabs, to be honest. It's crazy. All right. Where is the, okay, perfect. It is here. All right, cool, perfect. Regardless of the niche you're in or want to target or the offer that you're selling, the thing that will dictate if you succeed or fail is your ability to acquire attention and distribution for close to free. It doesn't matter if you're going after local businesses. I don't care if you're going after solar, real estate, insurance agents, contractors, manufacturing, or e-com, whether that be product businesses, software, e-learning, or you're an online service provider like I am, in the coaching, consulting, agency space, freelancer, it doesn't matter. All these niches are spending money on creators and those who can capture their attention with value. They're not spending money on the person in their inbox trying to pitch them some funnel, right? Everyone is buying from people they like. So we can help you become the go-to service provider. Doesn't matter if you're an agency, coach, consultant, by simply uncovering and driving all the demand to you by leveraging this AI content engine. Now, I want to share this thing that I've always shared in every single Webby. Intelligence or growth is kind of like the same thing. It has the same formula. It comes from two things. It comes from the rate of learning. Like, are you actually learning things? The fact that you guys are on this Webby, you guys are learning things, right? But something that most people always forget is that if you do not change your behavior, it doesn't matter how much information you've acquired, nothing will happen, right? You can learn everything. You can learn how to build $5 million a month businesses, but if your actions or your behaviors are still $10,000 a month behaviors, you will never make more than $10,000 a month. Okay? Someone who is smart acquires knowledge faster than anybody else, but they change behaviors even faster. So the gap between where you are right now and where you need to be is not just a degree of knowledge. That's why I charge $7 for this Webby. Eventually, to be honest, it might even end up being free in the future, because I know that no matter how many people will see this, if they don't execute and change their behavior, they're not going to get any value from this. So what do I have to lose by giving the knowledge away for free? Nothing, right? It literally doesn't do anything. That's why for me, I'm really excited about this AI world, because I'm so excited to go and build more AI systems, because I want to take over the entire info space. Imagine a world where every single business, like, the Airbnb, let's pick an Airbnb coaching business. I can build every single process around building an AI, a coaching Airbnb business, and sell that and be like, hey, you don't actually have to learn anything from me. I'm not going to sell you information. Instead, you pay for this AI system and it's going to build you an Airbnb business only. You want to start an agency? This AI agent will build you an agency. It will build you the offer, will build you the assets, it will build you the sales systems, it will fulfill for you. So anyone who's in the info space, coaching, consulting, who's not wanting to build these AI agents and will still sell info, in my opinion, they're cooked. No one is going to want to buy information anymore. They're going to want to buy execution. So you have the knowledge now, but the execution and implementation of this opportunity is what will take you from where you're at to where you need to be. So help us validate this AI content system in your niche. And in return, let us build you a funnel that prints $10,000 clients on autopilot, right? And before I kind of like go over the offer, was everyone's time worthwhile on this training today? Let me know in the chat, guys, please. Cool. And did you guys learn things that you didn't know before? And do you guys now understand the potential of this AI wave and the reason why all the smart money are betting on it? And do you see how AI can be applied in your business to acquire your clients without needing much of your involvement? Right? And do you now see the potential of building and releasing infrastructures as your front-end offer and retaining clients with AI workflows and eventually agents, because OpenAI is releasing theirs in January, so I can't wait for those, by the way. Helping you build a 10K, 50K, 100K a month organization with 90% profit margins and essentially get to a point where next year you don't have employees, you just have technology delivering the same services that you're essentially spending your life doing. And is it fair to say that using these insights and this AI trend, it is unreasonable for you not to have a significant advantage over your competition? Like, if all things remain the same, okay? Just implementing this alone means you can drive down the cost to deliver value down to almost nothing. That alone makes you more attractive to the market than anybody else, because now not everyone has the luxury to just drop cost by 80%, because they still have payroll, they still have people to pay, and they also are capped with how many people they can serve, right? Is that clear? Cool. If we parted ways right now and you were left to your own devices to go off and do this on your own, it would be a worthy ideal to pursue, if that was your only option. But today, it is not. There's a second option, a second path where you can join our incubator and leverage client acquisition.io's resources, data, systems, partners to help you launch and scale your offer, leveraging this AI content system that we've built, okay? And there is this quote from now this is, guys, see, I'm tired a little bit. How do you pronounce his name? Archimedes. He said, "Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world." In order for us to acquire more data and proof for this AI content system we've been building for the last few months, we've decided to do something pretty crazy. We want to provide to a small group of clients in our incubator the ability to leverage this AI content machine to dominate their niche and effortlessly allow them to acquire the attention from their ideal clients without having to spend tons of amount of money on acquisition or hours and hours of researching, creating, and packaging content. We believe it's time for everyone to start experiencing what it feels like to run a business while being a creator. I believe it's the only path to printing millions profitably online as a service provider, right? Being a service provider has never been how all these guys made millions, right? Like at some point, they all start as service providers selling their time for money, but eventually they all realize, like, you know what? There's no path to freedom here. So they all became creators. So anybody want to see the growth creator offer? Let me know in the chat. Then I'm going to drop it. All right, cool. Let's do it. So here's our offer. We believe that just as this content system aside, I want you guys to understand that there are a few obstacles that every client we've noticed they face when looking to scale past 50K, 100K per month. And the first one is finding the right market to sell to. If you pick the wrong market, I'm sorry, but like, it doesn't matter even if you're selling the AI, no, you're not going to grow. So we help our clients solve this by, first, because we're in so many niches. We've launched acquisition in lawyers, med spa, nursing, pool builders, real estate, softwares, Italian market. I don't speak Italian, but I like Italian wine. Tutoring centers, venues, wholesalers, yoga studios, every single niche. And what we have also validated is every single cost per lead, cost per both call, cost per acquisition, per offer in each niche, if that makes sense. So the reason why a lot of people will work with us is because, hey, I don't want to go have to test and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing and sales if I can just start working with you guys and have access to the right niche. So that's obstacle number one. We get you the right market to sell this to. The next thing is, this is kind of like what essentially I just explained is we'll provide you access to our data and show you the most profitable niches we're targeted with our partners. We'll also give you access to an AI system that we've built internally that researches and finds new niches that would pay the most for our growth infrastructures, right? If you choose the wrong market, your business fails. And these are some of the clients that we have. I can't share some of their niches, unfortunately, but just printing money in all these niches. Alex is into lawyers. Alex, he's been cooking. I've shared his niche before. Selling 15K growth infrastructures to lawyers. Dorian in HVAC, 9K deal, 12K CAD in the HVAC niche. Mining company, Jack, selling these, I think he's selling AI solutions and GHL systems to these companies. We have our partners in Amazon. This is a partner, $21,000 selling an Amazon FBA consulting offer on ads with only $1,000 in ad spend, cash collected 21K. Trung in ecom, he's also dabbled into the local niche, right? $18,000 from $800 in acquisition. Endo selling AI WhatsApp system to the he's selling it to the islands. He spent $800 on ads, made $18,000 in 9 days. So that's it. So those are kind of like some of the proofs that we have. The next thing is, obstacle number two, when you have the right niche, do you have the right thing to sell? Something that's not commoditized. An example of an application that we did, we had Soe, who's on YouTube. Some of you guys may know him. He was working with us in Natural Born Leader, and he essentially came to us. He was making 10K to 30K a month, but he was stuck. He was doing everything for his creator that he's partnered up with, right? And coaches that he's working with. Instead, we said, hey, why don't you just move to building and releasing the same thing that you do for them, but just sell to get them to sell the assets, don't sell your time. So he transitioned to doing this, and then this was the result. Literally just implemented what Serge told me on the Sunday call, restructured my offer to selling the infrastructure instead of the result, and 14K in 2 days, 8.5K each deal, another 8.5K PIF, just printing, right? The difference between like, it's so important not to sell a commoditized thing, and it's so important not to sell your time. Please, you need to start selling assets, right? So GCI, the incubator solution, is we've helped almost 1,000 clients launch growth infrastructures and offerings in the last 2 years, and we help them build every unique mechanism. So what we'll do is we'll provide you access to all the unique mechanisms and work one-on-one to build a unique mechanism growth infrastructure for you, for your niche specifically, right? And this also applies if you're selling AI. It is a mistake to sell them as front-end offers like I was covering today. And I was actually looking for ways to explain it to you guys, because some people may not understand why technology is deflationary. So let me read you guys this. I asked ChatGPT to say, hey, explain the concept of technology being deflationary to someone in 3rd grade. And then it said, imagine you have a big bag of toys, and each toy costs a lot of money. But then one day, a super smart robot machine is invented that can make toys really fast and for very little money. Now, everyone can get toys much cheaper than before. When technology makes it cheaper, easier and cheaper to make things like toys or even food and clothes, the prices of those things can go down. This means that people don't need as much money to buy the same things that they used to, which is why it's called deflationary. Now, I went a little bit deeper and I asked, explain the risk of leading with a technology solution as their front-end offer if they don't already have a moat, reach, distribution, and almost zero cost to acquire a client. And then he gave me this really amazing example. So check this out. This is for everyone out there who's selling things that have low barrier of entry. So please check this out. Imagine you have a lemonade stand, but you're not the only one in the neighborhood selling lemonade. You come up with a new superpower juicer that makes lemonade faster and maybe even tastier, which you think will get you more customers, right? So you improve the product, you build something great. But here's the thing. Just having a cool juicer isn't enough. If everyone around you can also get the same kind of juicer easily, then anyone could make the same lemonade as good and as fast as you. Plus, you need to also make sure lots of people know about your stand, which means that getting people to visit and buy from you often, and that takes effort, it takes money, like telling friends and putting up signs. Without a special reason for people to come buy from your stand, right, which is a moat, you need to have a reason, a way to reach a lot of thirsty people. Okay, you need a hungry market, reach, a plan to get your lemonade stand everywhere, distribution, and a way to keep bringing in customers without spending too much. It's risky. But if someone else does the same thing, but has a bigger reach or spends less money to get customers, they might take your customers away. In other words, even with the right technology, with the right solution, you will need more to be the best lemonade stand and not have others copy you or beat you, right? We want to make sure that you're selling something that is unique on your front end offer, okay? And I want to show you guys this database that we have on Airtable, because I think this is something that a lot of people don't really understand. One of the things that we're really emphasized at CA is just collecting success. So every single partner that we work with, we track every single win, where it came from, revenue generated, cash collected, number of clients, how and why and where the clients came from. Because this is how we are able to replicate success and allow anybody who decides to invest with us to be able to tell them, like, well, we have proof and wins on how to make money in all these niches. So we're going to base it off of results. And everybody says, oh, they have data, but like, do you really have data, or are you just replicating my messaging, right? This is the type of work that takes time to put together. So if you don't have this type of data, like, how are you supposed to help people grow, right? So we track every single win. because this is how we're able to replicate success. Okay. Now, the next thing is, so this is how essentially we build offers. We base it off of what's already proven. The next thing is generate quality traffic and interest for your offer affordably. Well, for this will be really simple. You'll be able to leverage the AI content engine to generate new assets based on contents and ads that are currently going viral in your niche. Imagine having the ability to recreate viral content that generates traffic for your brand and offer without spending thousands, hundreds, or hundreds of hours researching and creating content. Short form, long form, okay? And then from there, option B is once you even have the assets and you want to just get traffic right away, our advertising team will leverage these assets to launch ads for you, done for you, and get you instant results, right? You guys can see here, we have a lot of companies that we've run a lot of ads for people, and we just get calls for nothing. Like sales calls shouldn't be an issue today, in today's day and age, right? So done for your ads launch, we're going to launch ads for you and just make sure you have the traffic. Now, obstacle number 4 is, how do you turn leads into believers and prospects that want what you have to buy? It's not enough to generate leads. You need a system workflow that turns leads into believers before they jump on sales calls, or else you're wasting your time and your sales team's time trying to educate them on instead of closing. How do we solve that? You'll be able to leverage the second layer of this AI content engine to craft sales assets weekly and re-engage your audience and your lead list in your pipeline or your community, allowing you to generate sales calls with prospects who are ready to buy. Think of it this way. We have all these clients who are making money from YouTube. We have Wyatt in AI who's cooking on YouTube, right? The only difference between you and these businesses is the fact that they have long form sales assets that people consume on their own time and they just buy, right? And this has to be part of your business, right? Because if you can make $12,000 from a stranger in a 22-minute sales call, why would you rather spend an hour trying to make someone to give you $1,200, right? So once we've solved the niche, the offer, the lead flow, and also the nurturing, then you need to actually convert all this attention and leads into money. So how do you do it? We'll help you implement our sales process in your business that will allow you to predictably turn leads into money. Never have to worry about not knowing what to do at any stage of your funnel. Advertising workflow, appointment setting workflow, how we close infrastructure offers, right? Everything. All these companies, e-com, know your niche. To be honest, there are so many niches that even I sometimes don't even know where they're in. Luke selling a influencer he's working with he's built like an affiliate infrastructure where he essentially partners up with coaches and gives them access to a bunch of affiliates who will create content for them and then distribute them, right? AI from Fabrice, Wallace, Ecom, and Josh made 20K deal, 10K upfront. And then this is kind of like the process. But once you have the process, you also need the right systems in your business. So without the process, even if you know how to do it, you need systems and infrastructure to create a sense of control. This means that you need data. So think CRM, automation, show up systems, booking systems, lead flow systems. Every day you'll have the luxury to wake up to data and decide to turn up the dial. If you want more leads, if you want more calls, cool, just do more. More money, cool, just do more. And turn down the dial if you want to optimize a specific area of your funnel, right? Last but not least, processes and systems don't mean much unless you have a human in your company who is incentivized on making you money. So what we'll do is we'll give you access to a pool of trained talent. Think triagers, setters, who will call your leads in less than 5 minutes from opting in, qualifying and setting them for you. Think VAs, who will send hundreds of messages daily to cold audiences and generate leads on your behalf for just $3, $4, $5 an hour. Think closers, who have experience of closing deals in your niche that you can hire if you're struggling to close, right? You can see proof here, like setters booking calls for one of our clients, closers closing deals for Apple, Kelly closing in the UK. She's from I believe Australia, right? We needed to find a closer for her since she couldn't take these sales calls in UK time zone. The closer finally closed her first deal. Do you know how great it feels to have someone collect $6,000 for you? Right? It is insane. Right? Now, why are we giving such a no-brainer offer in our entry program, which is kind of like a GCI? Well, the thing you guys have to understand is the following. We'll get the most valuable thing, which is data, for us to improve the AI content engine. We could for sure launch it for our clients and test it for ourselves. But what if we did it with hundreds of people, hundreds of niches, and allowed people to be able to leverage this in so many niches, allowing us to have what? An even greater moat, which is more data. But the second thing is that we'll create more case studies in more niches we currently have, allowing us to also improve the way we scale companies with our partners. And the most beautiful of all is we'll create our future partners. Instead of competing in the red ocean of client acquisition, we want to lead with 10 times the value, provide you with something that saves you 2-3 years of trial and error. What if we could provide you in 4 weeks the implementation and results that take most founders 3 to 5 years to learn and implement? It's inevitable that when you start clearing 30K, 50K, 100K per month, that you don't come back to us and say, hey, guys, I actually want to partner with you guys to scale this offer to, I don't know, $250,000 per month and beyond. And the last value, which is something that I didn't expect, is that one of the funniest thing that happened is with our last Webby, we actually started attracting more people who are building AI solutions. And the person who actually built this was actually a client of ours. Imagine if I never pitched something, I would have never had the right person to actually come in and build this solution for us, right? As you probably can guess, I didn't build this AI system. It was built by someone else. And they were a client before. They were in our incubator, and then they showed me what they were building. I was like, holy shit, yeah, I need to get on this. And we've been working together ever since, right? And I want to attract more people building. If you have an amazing skill when it comes to building other AI systems and you have other use cases, please get into our community. I'd love to see what you're building, right? And then out of everyone who joins this 90-day incubator program, there will be a few superstar founders that come from it experiencing crazy fast growth. And that is the person I'm creating this offer for, okay? Now, let me just go over the offer details and just get it over with. So this is a 90-day program. We're not going to do 6-month program anymore. There's no point in spending 6 months. If 90 days, you don't get where you need to be, something is off. So there's no point in just staying in failure for long. Okay. There's more urgency if we say, hey, this is 90 days, you have to get to work ASAP. Because we realized that when you have 6 months program, it ends up making people feel like they have 6 months to win. We don't have 6 months to win. Why do we have 6 months to win? 90 days is enough for everything, right? Done with your program. The way that it works is first 4 weeks is intense implementation. Think first week we dial in the offer. By the second week, you have lead gen. By the third week, you have appointments coming in and also systems being implemented. And by the third or fourth week, we should expect you closing deals. The following 8 weeks, optimization period with growth consultants. You have access to an ad specialist. You have access to systems integrators. You have access to sales consultants, and you have access to a head of recruitment, allowing you to find talent when you need it, okay? For those who've been on sales calls with our team before, you guys know that our price is for the incubators around 12 grand, 15 grand payment plan, right? But since we're launching this new mechanism and we get value from you using it, we want to incentivize you to work with us. So what we've decided to do is we're launching a discount for the Growth Creator Incubator for those who actually want to take advantage of this offer. So it looks something like this. The Webby offer price is 7.5K USD if you pay in full, meaning you pay all at once. But if you want a payment plan, the price is 9K, okay? The 7.5K USD offer is only available for the next 24 hours. If you want, actually, no, you shouldn't visit this link. This link is to actually speak with our team. But if you, I'm going to send the link shortly. You guys will see it. The price is 7.5K for the next 24 hours. If you want the payment plan option, which is 9K. We've blocked 5 slots today and 15 slots tomorrow to take calls. We can't afford to block our calendars longer than today and tomorrow. So since our calendars are just always packed with sales calls, with people wanting to work with us or partner with us. And the other thing is 60% of our fulfillment requires done for you work. Ads launch, systems integrators, training talent, one-on-one offer builds. Therefore, we're forced to add a cap to actually GCI every month. We can only onboard 20 new clients in GCI every month. But for today's offer, we're capping it at a number of 10 clients who can join for the 7.5K offer or the payment plan, as it will take us the rest of the month to fulfill for these 10 members. So if you're part of the first 10 clients, then we can actually fulfill in the next 15 days remaining in November. Then we'll be able to onboard more people starting December. But as soon as we onboard the 10 people, we put prices back up to the regular, right? So 12K, 15K after we've kind of like gone back to the 10 people. And the sign up process is really simple. This is the checkout link for those who want to take access to the can someone put the link to the for this? Okay, so this is the 7.5K. You can sign agreement and then you can kind of like we can be ready to onboard you. If you want the payment plan and you want to ask questions around how can you actually speak with a team to have a payment plan option, please use this link. You're going to see here, you can actually book a call today. We have these slots opening up today and tomorrow, right? So that's that. And then if you also have any issue, just message me on Instagram or Facebook. I'll be able, or WhatsApp, I'll be able to kind of like help you out. Private onboarding session. So for anyone who signs up, we're actually going to be doing a private onboarding session with me and our team. We're going to have the partner who built this, who helped us build this. We're going to have our entire growth consulting team, and we're going to go through the actual process around how do we actually launch this at 2 p.m. Eastern. That means that if you don't take advantage of this offer, then you're probably going to miss out. This is not an onboarding session that will be recorded. It will be private. I don't normally onboard clients when they jump in. Okay, cool. But as always, it is not over yet. So I got something pretty sick for you guys. I got some exciting bonuses for 3 lucky founders. So out of the 10 people, I want to do something even more special for 3 lucky founders, which is the following. The value is already infinitely greater than the price, but I want to reward the first 3 action takers who jump into our incubator with something I thought would be even greater, of even greater value, which is the following. First one is going to be the first. For these 3 founders, we want them to be able to license this AI content engine to fulfill for their clients. Okay, so this means that not only will you be able to use this to create your own assets, content, long form, viral assets, but we actually want people to resell this into different markets. Okay, not only will be using the system, again, I just said that, if you can leverage this AI system to close more deals, deliver value to your clients without needing to hire 10 employees or lose all your profit margins, then let's do it, right? And Andre, we actually launched his campaign. And I want to show you guys, because he's essentially selling this system with ads. Those are the ads that I showed you guys earlier. And he got a notification of Slack of a new lead 15 minutes ago, called him straight up and then booked him on a meeting for Friday. He runs 3 startups. One of them does software for banking, government, and healthcare. And he needs to do content, but none of the founders want to appear on camera and liked the video ad a ton. Do you guys see it? The market is screaming for this system. And by the way, this was 30 minutes after launching his ads on Meta, right? And then what I also want you to do is I want us to let us implement the growth infrastructure we're using to sell this AI content system, right? This was team ads. They launched the ads 40 minutes ago, $44 spent, 2 booked calls, 6 leads so far. And this is kind of like what I was sharing. I think I sent it in the group chat. you guys are going to get access to, the offer that we're using, the ads that we're running, the VSL script, the landing page, all the funnels that we're using that essentially we're giving to everyone who's essentially leveraging the system. So you don't have to build it from scratch as a bonus. And then all pre-built, by the way, validated, only waiting for you to leverage it to generate leads, calls, and clients in the next 14 to 21 days, right? Bonus number 3 is only to 3 people though. Like, I'm not gonna do this with anyone who's ever gonna be watching this video. I only jump on one-on-one calls with our partners, or charge $5,000 for 1 hour consulting session. But I will jump on each of the first. I will jump on a one-on-one call with 3 of the first members who jump into the incubator, answer any of your questions, but most importantly, help you pick the best path of applying this AI content system if I was you, and with your background and with your experience. So once you've been onboarded, launch your acquisition, we'll jump on a one-on-one call and actually go over everything. Maybe you might have other questions you want to ask me, but I think the best thing that I can provide you is clarity on what I would do if I was in your shoes, okay? Bonus number 4 is, now, normally we offer this to partners, but we'd like to provide the first movers a private channel where you have direct access to me, group of growth consultants. So everyone will have one channel where they have access to the team of specialists, right? So you don't have to feel like you're in a group setting where you're like in a group coaching offer. No, this is not group coaching. Do we have group calls? Yeah. But do you need to be on the group calls? Not necessarily. But this essentially is going to give you more access. So you kind of like feel like you have an entire team helping you, supporting you, backing you into scaling. Bonus number 5 is leverage your new playbooks to fulfill for clients. I'm tired of seeing clients leveraging competent contractors who can't deliver because they haven't done what they promised and end up costing our clients revenue. So we've decided that to release new playbooks, which is going to be launched as soon as we kind of like announce this this offer, that we implement for our partners. So you guys are going to get access to our school community playbook. We've now built 50K, 100K a month school communities, and I'm not talking about subscriptions. I'm talking about free communities without that actually create high ticket clients. We built this for Dylan. We're doing this for everyone. Okay, so you're gonna get access to this playbook. The next thing, in my opinion, that's gonna be super sick is YouTube. I think everyone is sleeping on YouTube. I think Ravi is not starting to talk about it, but we're implementing this growth creator funnel. You're leveraging YouTube for all of our partners, and it's been paying off like nothing before, right? I think I did show you guys the YouTube wins right here. E-com, if you're in e-com as an example and you don't have YouTube, I don't really know what to do. So I don't know what to tell you. So you guys are going to get access to our entire YouTube playbook, how we're building channels, optimizing them, packaging them, how do you actually create the content, all that good stuff. And this, by the way, is primarily, yes, to use for yourself, but I think the most valuable is in reselling it to others, right? And then the next thing is 7-figure ads funnel playbook. We've launched ads and scaled ads in over 65 niches. So we have data on what works. So you'll have the luxury to leverage it to launch your ads, to launch ads for your clients. So if you want to come in and let's say build an ad infrastructure for someone and say, hey, it's proven, you can leverage our data, right? We have access to the creatives that work and everything like that. Every single week, we collect data on campaigns, right? As you guys hear, we have 39 campaigns being run right now, or that were collected that week. And one of the most important thing is 7-figure sales agency playbook. We've built an entire sales agency during the summer and spent $100,000 building everything required to build and release sales infrastructures into companies. And in my opinion, this alone can be sold for $25,000 upfront, right? So you can have access to this whole entire infrastructure where you go into companies and you figure out what they need to solve for. You pick a niche, you come in, you implement new offers, you implement new setters, sales team, closers, and then you just get paid a percentage of what you add to their business, right? And implement new appointment setting workflows and just get paid to improve the actual sales process for a business. And on top of that, if you want to manage closers, then you can also do that, okay? So you guys are going to get access to that. We've been helping Dylan kind of like dial in his sales process, right? Dylan, didn't necessarily have good management in his business. So we kind of like are walking him through this playbook. which also comes with systems for setting, for dialing, for, all the things for tracking metrics, right? All that here. And all of this probably costs each 5K, 10K to build. So yeah, anyway, I think this is almost last one. The first member to leverage our playbook and AI content engine to scale past 30K, 50K per month. I'd like to invite you to become a partner without having to pay up the setup fee, which is right now at 20K. And last but not least, I'd like to get you flown for free to our Cape Town retreat happening in February in 2025. So we're planning this to happen in February of 2025. So if you want to come, enjoy some sunsets and talk about the struggle of building a company with my team, with other entrepreneurs, then I highly recommend you guys jump in, right? And then the next thing is our guarantee. So of course, we have a guarantee, which is if we implement the right offer, the right growth systems in your business, and you leverage them consistently in order to meet the required inputs or the standard that we set, that we know create results for other clients and partners, and you don't make back your initial investment in the first 90 days, we'll offer extended support and the option to request a refund. This means that the worst case scenario of you working with us is your current situation. Like you can only be back 90 days from now in the same place you're in right now. That is the worst case. We won't allow you to be in a worse situation than you're in currently, because we'll not only provide with you a better opportunity and infrastructure in your current business, but we'll avoid you the risk of losing by providing you with a safe exit. We're willing to take the risk because all we need to do is get you one client to make back your investment, which I believe we're kind of capable of in 12 weeks. I think 12 weeks is doable, right? So yeah, if you guys can put the link to book a call, and then we can kind of like go it. But yeah, 1 second. Cool. Let me know. But yeah, guys, oh my God, these calls are crazy. Look at that. Oh my God, I was like, what are all these emails? But yeah, so if you guys booked a call, let's go. We have also tomorrow. So if you guys haven't booked a call, book it tomorrow. Once this goes live, or this recording goes live, then it won't be, yeah. Wait 1 second. Hi Serge, can we get access to AI content engine if we're already in GCI? Sorry for the redundancy. So if you're already a client in, whether even a partner, the way that it will work is you guys will get access to it, but there will be a fee on usage, but you guys will get access. Like you guys don't have to pay the cost to get into a program. So tomorrow in the onboarding session happening at 2 p.m., we will be going over we'll also be inviting current clients who want to use the system so that you guys can actually see how you guys can start using it, right? But yeah, 1 second. Will I share the doc? Will fill the form, show them the inputs. Okay. No. Ethan, I'm not gonna go through the actual. I'm not gonna go through the system right now. I'm gonna just go through it tomorrow with everyone. So for everyone who signs up, everyone will get access to it, right? It's gonna be a lot easier. But yeah, why I get 9,000, 1,500 is because of taxes. If you are in Europe, but like message us on talk to Reg, we can get you a payment plan, or like if you have PayPal, you can pay on PayPal and avoid those taxes. But it's just the sales tax on WAP they charge based on your location. All right, 1 second. Cool. Tammy, Lead Phoenix, welcome. Comment below if you booked a call and if you also charged. Yeah, the taxes are just a pain, to be honest. It's just inevitable. Let me know if you guys booked a call in the chat, please, or if you paid. All right, cool. All right, cool. Now let's get into the comment section, okay? Or the questions, please. All right, 1 second. Where is the form for the quiz? Can someone send me the questions, the Q&A form, please? I want to find them. I can't find them. I have an e-com agency in Mexico doing 100K per month. I'm not sure if I want to change my whole business model. This 7.5 would work for me. I have an e-com agency in Mexico. This 7.5K, should I book a call? Well, I don't know. So is your business in Spanish? Like for sure, like this AI, I mean, could the AI translate and understand viral in Spanish? Probably, I guess. But we haven't tested. That would be a question. I need to test it. I need to hablar mucho, little, un poquito. I have to figure it out. I have to figure it out, right? Hey Tolu, amazing, man. Thank you for getting started. Ethan, shout out. Let's go. Perfect. Thank you for the doc. All right, guys, let's go into questions. And thanks everyone for booking calls, guys. So let's do a Q&A and then we'll get started. Everyone else who has questions, please put them in the form and then we'll have a Q&A right now. So let's start. Some questions I might skip just generally because they may have happened a lot earlier. Can I get the recording? So I'm not going to answer that. I've had 3 successful sales calls, but find it hard to figure out how many calls I want to go before the close. Either 2 or 3. Also, how do you educate prospects? Do you still have, Daniel, do you still have this question? Can you raise your hand? How to implement this? Actually, you know what? Let's raise hands, guys. I'm not going to go through all these questions like this. Just raise your hands with your thing, and then I'll unmute you, and then we can actually do it. So I think you guys can raise your hands, right? Perfect. All right, Dean, go ahead.
Hey, sorry, I'm on 2 phones. Hang on.
Someone said this offer is only for 24 hours. I also heard until next week. What I said is until next week for the recording. The offer is the next 24 hours because we're only taking calls today and tomorrow only. So if you guys, well, first of all, there's 2 things. You guys have to understand that, like, my monthly payroll is around 160K, right? If I showed you 160K, 200K. So it's unscalable for me to give more than 10 people the 7.5K or 9K price because it literally takes me 20, 30 people to buy for me to break even. So that's why this offer has to be limited to 10 people. And that's why if you kind of like book a call for next week, you're going to have access to the regular 12K because that's the only way I make profits. But yeah, anyway. So Dean, go ahead. Sorry for the
All good. Sorry, I was on 2 devices. I could hear myself talking. I was doing my head in. So I got a question about for mainly the people just starting. So obviously, like optimizing for a productized service and doing a build and release offer is like great. But for the people just starting, do you recommend gathering those insights, getting your hands dirty first, even like just starting out, like do a commoditized offer to begin with, and as soon as you can transition to this build and release? But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
It's a little different because I think the only thing you need to master when you're starting out, yes, you have to spend time learning stuff, but application and fulfillment wise, I don't see the value in like you're the one like doing the work. Can you do the work? Should you do the work? Should you know how to do the work? Yes. But the problem is who's going to even buy your commoditized services? The issue
Yeah,
clients in the first place. It's not about it's not about, I'm not telling people like stop being a commodity for the sake of, well, I'm not saying that from the place of, oh, I'm trying to save you the stress and the, how do you call it? Like the friction of doing that. No, I'm actually saying like, if you stay commoditized, you're not going to get clients.
Okay.
It's not a function
Yeah.
of, I'm trying to save you time and effort. No, I'm just saying like, knowing how many people are already doing things like, oh, I set calls or I get you clients and they're all broke. I'm like, how are you can't stand out. So you need to stand out by having a unique mechanism. That makes sense.
So you reckon if you could start like this way, 100%. There's no need to, as like in quotes, get your hands dirty.
All you need to know is know more than the next guy.
Fair enough.
That's it.
Cool.
Knowledge is the only, insights is the only reason. Like as an example, one of the things I was talking about today is I was thinking about this really important. So the other day I made a post hiring setters in the company, and I'm not gonna lie, I got 150 replies on my Instagram, and I was like, this is insane. 150 people offering setting is ridiculous, because I for sure know that they're not going to have jobs because there aren't enough offers for them to work on. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I should probably do a piece of content to help these guys out, because if I was a setter looking to get a job, I wouldn't actually care to get a job. I would just simply realize that, oh, there's so many talent of setters out there. I'm just going to go find companies that need setters and that need the right approach. And I'm going to learn the right workflow around appointment setting for a specific niche. And I'm going to go into a group and I'm going to get 50 setters and build a pool of talent. And I'm just going to build and release them into companies. That's it. So you see, like,
Love it.
you just, it's about skipping a layer of leverage. When you get super commoditized, okay, cool. What would be the next thing that you would do with, now that you have the luxury of having commodities? Okay, cool. Anyway.
Would be to use those people that
Yeah,
are the
use
commoditized.
people and find the right process. It's process and people, or process and systems. Anyway, that's it. Hey, Tammy, what's up? You can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hey, Demi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm from London. And at the beginning of the where you were talking about the niche. So for someone like me that I'm new and I don't know niche exactly to the area to go into, is it advisable for me to start with this?
Well, you guys have to understand that what we showed today is not necessarily what we do normally. What our business is around incubating. So it's around facilitating and giving guys support and things that are already proven. So
okay,
yes, because I mean, I don't know, because the alternative is you can go figure it out everything yourself, or you can work with us and we help you solve problems on your behalf. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
so you get both, best of both worlds. Not only, so this is why this is why I try not to have our services cost too cheap, because what you understand is that what we're trying to essentially tell you is, or offer you is, hey, you're an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, you're already running a business, but you're maybe trying to figure out the path of least resistance. Okay, perfect. What I've decided to do is build a company that goes and launches a bunch of companies and learns what markets are working, what should be sold, how we get the clients for this offer that we built, and also how to fulfill. So our business model is literally around, I mean, I essentially built something that I would have loved having when I was starting out in business. That's just that simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That makes sense.
Thank you so much. Hey, Gadiel, what's up?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How about you?
Good.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm starting out as well, and obviously, so I don't have the 12 grand or 9 grand to even start and take advantage of this opportunity. So I was just wondering basically, how should I make my first 12 grand from scratch literally right now if I would want to take advantage of this opportunity? I mean, I already have my niche and my offer and I'm making content, I'm building my personal brand, but I don't have any clients yet. So how should I go about that?
Oh man, I'm unfortunately I'm not yet a scammer, but I would have offered you a funding option. Um, no, because I generally don't. I don't like it when people push people like, oh, you know, if you don't have money, it's probably because you also don't have, like, you're not in a position where you're actually pull this off. So if I was you, I would find a way to work for someone and like go get a job, like go work for someone, get paid for your time. It's fine, totally fine to work for money, right? But as soon as
So
you
I
can,
have a job right now on the side, like a 9 to 5.
okay, so you're not good with your finances. Why don't you have money to get started then?
Well, it's because of I'm like paying off like some money that I've lost like in e-commerce in the past and all that good stuff. So that's why. But even if I could have like
Just launch ads. Just launch ads yourself and get leads, get appointments, and figure it out, right? But like you shouldn't. If you have a job, then you're probably stuck in the same limbo I was in 2020, which was, oh, I'm gonna stay at this job, make money, and then I'm gonna start running a business. But I can promise you that 2016, you'll still be on this call on another webby that I'll do, and I'll promise you, you'll still not have enough money saved up to be able to buy even a $2,000 offer. Let's say in 2026, I'm like, man, I'm tired of selling all these high ticket things. Let me sell a low ticket thing. I promise you that if you stay at your job and you keep using this excuse of I don't have money, because get deal, I know you, you know me. You've seen you on a webby before, and you've been in our community before, and I promise you, you have to become resourceful and find the money and stop saying I don't have the money. Because which country do you live in?
Canada, Quebec, in Quebec, Canada.
Well, go get a credit card, get capital, raise money. Why do you have to work for money? It literally takes you one hour, call the bank. Hey, I need a new credit card. Call 5 banks, get 5 credit cards, get 15 grand on credit cards. I'm not saying get those credit cards to work with us. No, hell no.
No,
Get credit cards and acquire leads, acquire attention, run art marketing, hire people, hire setters. But it's crazy. Like, yeah, for me, I don't believe in the I don't have money excuse, especially if you have a job, especially if you live in Canada, like, come on, like, not having money is just, because I'm sure if you wanted to buy a car, like I did when I was still working a job, I saw this car that I really liked, and I was like, I only have like $1,700 in my bank account, but I literally went and bought a car for like $6,000, and that was still scary. So it's like most people will go in debt buying things that have zero value and just status signaling shit, but they will never get the same courage and the same genius to invest in themselves.
yeah, to have a better ROI.
So yeah, so that's what I would do. Anyway, by the way, my team just asked me to show you guys this because some of you guys are asking for demos. So let me show you guys. All right. So this is one of the AI avatars for the same kind of like client who's pushing it, was also built with AI. So check this out.
Dialers, you've most probably heard of the trend of AI dialers and all the fuss around it, but have you heard about the AI ad and content agent, AI agent that will source data from YouTube, podcasts, Reddit, and social media? Then come up with the viral topics and ideas that your market is interested in. Then create an entire video script, whether for an ad or a reel, and then create an AI video on your behalf, leveraging all of the above. In other words, an AI agent that will allow you to create 100s of videos of yourself, testing these angles in your market, identifying what the top performers are, and then drive more traffic to the ones that are performing the best, all without you having spent Imagine rolling out 50 plus ad video variations without lifting a finger. And I mean, without you having to source data from YouTube, podcasts, Reddit, social media, without having to come up with the viral topics, averaging what we've built.
So yeah, so actually I just saw these for the first time. This is actually pretty sick. Good work, team. So this essentially, so what we essentially did with for him is we built the animations, which you guys did see, which are the ones that booked him on a sales call with the guy who runs these companies for in the banking and healthcare space. The animation booked the ads, but we also built the actual, we turned him into an AI avatar and built the content for him, which are also being used for ads. All right. Cool. So who's next? Cheyenne, go ahead.
Yo, what's up, Serge? How you doing, man?
I am good, man. How about you?
Not bad, not bad. So I guess my question for you is, and I'm asking this question because I know you have a lot of data in a bunch of different niches and verticals. So right now, with my offer, I'm targeting the coaches, consultants, agency owner space, right? And I believe I've heard you say how saturated and sophisticated that niche is. So I was just wondering, as someone who's not making a lot of money right now, where, kind of going back and restarting wouldn't really hurt or change a lot of things for me, would you recommend kind of seeking out a different niche, different opportunity?
Wait, why are you switching a different opportunity? Can you explain? Sorry, I got. Why switch? Like, what's the reasoning behind switching? Repeat that part for me.
Because, and maybe this is a limiting belief, but I feel like I've heard you say it also. You've said that the coaches, consultants, agency owner space, targeting marketers is a very sophisticated and saturated space. So with where I am right now, I've got like a few clients I'm working with, but me restarting and me kind of pivoting, like what exactly my business model really wouldn't hurt me that much. So is that something that you'd recommend doing? What is your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, you literally just watched me spend 3 hours talking about one thing, which is competition means nothing if you have content, if you have a personal brand.
Right.
So why do you want to get out when the only thing you could do is just you don't need to pivot, because you're going to pivot to what? Then you're going to, so what markets are you thinking of pivoting in? Give me an insight. Which market?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure. That's part of it.
Just guess. Well, guess. Just any guess.
Let's say some sort of local industry. Let's say
Like
lawyers, I guess. Let's say
okay,
lawyers.
cool. So, do you think you're gonna beat Alex Pivinsky, who's in the lawyer niche?
I don't know who that is, but I assume he's got a big personal brand. And if that's the case, the
No,
answer is no.
not even. He's just been spending more ads than you. He's had more sales calls than you. He has more proof than you. So there is this misconception that there is an unsaturated niche. That doesn't exist. Right? It's only saturated because you aren't special enough in the sense of like either what you're selling isn't special, or you don't position yourself in a way that is unique enough to actually make you stand out. So my advice to you is there's no pivot that will be easy. There's no pivot that's going to make you money, right? It is only are you going to get better? So I think before you ask yourself to pivot, you should ask yourself, can I get better? That would be my answer.
Gotcha.
Hey, Yuri, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, bro? It's your favorite detailer.
How you doing, brother?
I'm chilling. All right, so I actually had a question. So, how would you go to promote a niche down offer into the car dealership industry where we sell AI dialers and chatbots to book appointments for them?
How would I sell it to them?
Like, how would you go and promote the product like through medias? Like, would you start with organic content? Would you launch ads right away? Like, how would you start gaining attention?
I would do ads and content at the same time.
Okay, so and would you recommend building like let's say 20 videos before launching ads, or like posting 20 videos and then after launching ads, or
No, I would just launch
all right.
ads right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And by the way, just a quick note on that. Just let me know whenever the Porsche needs to be ready to put back into the in the garage.
For sure. Hey, Tass, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. So the question I have is, let's say as an agency, I'm selling or attention and automated content creation using AI, like without having to sit in front of the camera, speak, or even write scripts. Is this a valuable offer enough, or do I need to sell more in the upfront than just this?
So you're selling AI, and are you asking if it's a valuable thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell AI avatars. I'm gonna use their voice cloning and then even clone their personality and using LLM so that they could write scripts. So is this something valuable enough, or do I need to sell more in the front?
Have you launched acquisition?
No, not yet.
Launch
I'm doing
acquisition,
myself currently.
launch acquisition, anything, outreach, ads, content, and then ask me the question again. Once you have,
Alright.
okay.
So can you elaborate more on the how would the offer look like? Because I think you're doing a bit similar thing. In,
Well, I showed you what we're doing, so just copy paste that.
Okay.
You want me to re-explain 3 hours worth of content in 2 minutes? God damn, my voice, literally my throat is hurting right now. And you still don't understand the offer? That's a problem. But no, don't worry. Just sell, just whatever if you can, just solve all the problems, then retain on content. I wouldn't build and release content, AI content systems, because you can get paid for it and you don't have to, there's no cost to fulfill, right? Ethan, what's up? Yeah, please go ahead. Can't hear you. No, I cannot hear you, Ethan. Just select the right mic and then we can get to work.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, sorry my camera's not working, having problems there, but I guess for the content model. So I mean the AI content, the on the organic side, because I was actually like literally in the process, like about to film my VSL after this of building out like my own like with my own avatar, like kind of in the same similar way. It is the same way, it's the same software, but do you believe that that same software is good for organic, or is it really more so for the ads side?
Which part?
Like, does the person get like replaced well on the organic side? Because that's what in terms of offering it to someone.
Well, I don't think that that's a, is that a function of the system, or is that a function of the prospect? Right?
The system, right? So like with the avatar generator, right? The avatar is able to create content for the person without their input, which is cool for short form and ads. I can see how that could easily like replace them. But I was looking to offer long form for my audience. I'm in the info space, so I was looking to offer long form YouTube to them as well. But I was thinking, okay, this may not be necessarily possible if people come on and they're saying that like, oh, it's not really the person, it's more so like just the AI that's creating the content for them. Or is that not how you guys do it with your avatars?
Well, you have to understand that like the avatar is based on efficiency, right? So selling it for YouTube, you don't build a YouTube channel for efficiency. You want to build a personal brand. So we don't use this AI content system to necessarily create long form content for people, but videos, but we actually just use it for them to get the right things out there and the right attention. Like people don't have a problem creating content. They just have a problem creating content that doesn't actually reward them. So I wouldn't get a partner to be like, oh, hey, let's use this AI instead of you on YouTube. That would be stupid. Like that would be pretty crazy, because the amount of value you get from owning attention on YouTube is ridiculous. But like, if I go to someone who's running an ad focused business and I say, hey, I can create 100 creatives every day and you don't have to do anything, that person is going to be excited, right? So that's valuable because it doesn't matter. Like even most of my ads in the near future, I'm not going to be creating ads. I don't really care about ads. Ads are useless. I like it. You're not creating a personal brand on ads, if that makes sense. All right, cool. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Serge, thank you so much for hosting this. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Just for everyone, this is a huge amount of value. Even just looking at YouTube alone, it's a huge value. We live in a creator economy, and that's only going to grow more and more. Less people are watching TV and the news; they're all going to YouTube. So just a quick note. I mean, just listen to Serge. He knows what he's talking about. But I did just want to push that out there too for anyone that's uncertain. Like the creator economy is where everything is going, man. Just so those that don't know. My question real quick is, so I love this. I think this is perfect. And it's really kind of where I've been looking to align myself. Again, the creator side, the content side. So even myself, I'm looking to have a YouTube channel and put out content and things like that. So the question is like with the model that you've shown, and I think it's a really great model, are the AI generated content editable in the sense of like, let's say we like the output, but maybe want to tweak a couple of stuff, or maybe there was some text that overlaid it or came out a little bit funny. Yeah, can you just dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, all the creatives I showed, our editing team came in, cut, because the avatar doesn't actually output high quality. It outputs something a little that still has gaps, and our team just makes it smooth.
Got it. Okay,
You
so
still
it
have
is
to embellish the actual output when it comes to the avatars. So yeah, and then also all the layouts you guys saw was just an editor who put them on. So then it makes it feel like it's actually you can't tell, but like yeah, if you just take it from let's say HeyGen or these other platforms right away, it's not going to be that good.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely tweaking, and the one with the female that was almost indistinguishable, to be honest. So that's one of the best
But
executions I've seen.
that was edited. Yeah, that was
Okay.
pretty good.
So that's their editing, and then I guess the AI animations. I think that's a big one. I think those will do really well. I've seen them do really well, and even just from your examples, they are.
Yeah.
So are those AI generated, or is that with like an editor?
That was also an editor who
Okay,
fixed
and
it, then boom.
super. Okay, so I guess is that a part of the process that you guys hook us up with too? Is
Yeah.
like the editors? Okay, fantastic. That's amazing.
So yeah, because so let me explain. So yeah, so one of the outputs is improved by editors. So one of the things we're doing is we actually built a playbook of how we're building these AI animations. We actually are opening up a process of training. So let's say someone may be like, hey, I have this niche that's wanting so many more animations, but there's not enough, which is actually an interesting thing. Before I created this thing internally, my goal was to release an opportunity around, for sure, from content agencies to build agencies where they build agencies that build AI voiceover and animation. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because we tried looking for animation editors and motion graphics, and there weren't none. It is actually a skill that is not commoditized as just adding captions. So the people who actually do it are not that, like they're not many. So that means that with that comes mean that if there's less people doing it, then there's more money to be made. So just to tell you, some editors charge $60 per minute of animation. So it's super premium-ish, right? So that means that if let's say, that's why I was like, it's so sick to retain on content, because you can just get your foot in the door with just delivering some systems and other valuable things, but on the back end, retain them on just cook up a little voice, cook up a little asset, get the editor. You have a team of editors that just cooks up high value assets, and just have 10, 20, 100 outputs and get paid hundreds, if not hundreds of dollars per each output, and make 50K a week off of just every time you generate thing. And the thing that's super important to understand is that someone who gets results from content will not stop creating content. So you create a flywheel, you create a habit of making your clients, well, it's not even you're not creating it, it's they have to do it or they die.
Yeah.
Like if Hormozi stopped creating content, 2-3 reels a day and YouTube videos, I don't care if he already has a bunch of following. He's gonna drop like this. So
Yeah.
this is why I think this is going to be a best thing to retain people on, because it's a reoccurring pain.
Yeah.
So then you don't have to sell your service. It's a need. It's not even a want.
Yeah, that's such a great point on the retainer side, and I think it can go beyond that too in terms of if you're implementing other stuff like systems automation or like optimization. And just a quick note for everyone else too, I've actually been on a 3-day webinar for like real estate content creation from like one of the biggest guys in like real estate that are pushing content creation. And sure, like from all the stuff that he's saying, it's a lot of value, but I only share that because I leaving that one, it's literally still going. I have it recorded on my other phone, but I want to leave that to join this one just because I know Serge and whatnot, so his value is huge. But I only share that because the content creation is really a huge thing, and I don't think enough people understand that. And especially if you have your own personal brand, you create so many streams of potential income, but also the number of partnerships that come to you. Like, I don't think people understand it. Like, I think even Serge himself is still discovering what that potential is, because I think most people don't see it. I mean, I could go on forever saying that, but I'll leave it to the next person. But guys, like, pay attention.
Yep, 100%. I mean, I know guys who've made $20 million on ads. I was looking at YouTube and I saw this guy on a live, and he was like, someone asked him a question, and this guy was also running an 8-figure business. I was saying like, hey man, I don't want to, I know I see the Hormozis, I see all these guys creating content, but I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I can create content. And then he asked this guy who's made $20 million in like 2-3 years, using primarily selling his coaching offer and with ads and sales funnels and sales letters. And it was like, the only thing I'm doing is right now is content and coding.
Yep.
Like even the nerds are forced to be on content. There is no way around it.
Yeah.
Because this market is shifting, right? And then anyway, but yeah, that's that. But thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks.
What's up? You can unmute yourself.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I just came across you maybe like a week ago. I've already started my build and release style situation. So I picked the niche of auto detailers based on the fact that I've done like slight marketing work for them in the past, and I have a whole bunch of mechanisms already built up. And I just kind of don't want to start from scratch. So what I've decided to do is create my mechanisms. I plan on putting them out similar to how you do, but specifically for the auto detailers. And then I plan on putting them into like a school community to kind of build up that audience, but have like some type of barrier so I can at least get paid on the, small level, and then, route them up to the next level. So my one question for you is, do you feel as if this can work for an industry like that? Because I noticed that obviously, if I'm working with detailers across the state, or, I'm in Florida, but if I want to work with a detailer in another state or something like that, and I noticed that a lot of them aren't too savvy with like promoting or producing content on a regular. And obviously it's cars, you got to show before and after. So I'm trying to figure out, am I shooting myself in the foot by keep digging into this niche? Because eventually, showmanship is everything. Everybody want to see the cars. They want to see before and the afters. Now, yes, they have like high tickets, like thousands of dollars for ceramic coating and stuff like that, but it's still a process. The service is still kind of like a commodity because everybody could wash a car. So I'm trying to figure out like, should I stop?
So I think we have clients in work with us in the same niche, and I can tell you that it's definitely a tricky niche because these are people who are just kind of like stingy and broken, and mindset is just messed up. So the number one thing, if I was to go into niches like this, the number one thing I do is change their way of what they sell. Like as an example, I'll tell you this. How much money you make is dependent on the degree of growth that your clients get. So if your client has no leverage internally in their business, it doesn't matter if you know how to make $1 billion, they won't be able to do anything with it. So step number one, if I go in markets that are commoditized, mechanism number one is let's get you selling something that's worth more money. It's what Hormozi did in gyms. He didn't sell $100 a month subscriptions. He started selling $600 tickets, and they had to be paid upfront because that gives them leverage on margins. They can now go pay for more things and acquire growth faster. So the only way that I see it working in auto space is you go to them and you change the entire belief. Don't sell to one-off car washes, only sell monthly. So as an example, one of the kids on this call, Yuri, he washes my Porsche. If I was Yuri, instead of charging me like whatever money he charges me, I'd be like, hey, what if I cleaned the entire thing for the summer for $1,000 or $1,500 a month, and I'll come clean it every 2 weeks, right? There aren't that many 2 weeks during the summer, right? So that means that then you can now start creating margins. So that's what I always do. So how can you get them leverage, and then just give them the acquisition? But if you don't help them acquire leverage in their offer, they're not worth it.
Right. And so I've seen the contrast of someone that isn't as reputable in the community. So like I have to be on every level. Like if they, for one, if they don't got the mindset to really want to put in the work behind all the energy, then I'm throwing that away. And then you got to worry about the quality. Then you got to worry about them actually marketing to the right type of clientele to even pay for the services that they actually want. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it's good. It's going to get me to the starting point, but I definitely want to pivot out. I've been kind of nervous about working like as an agency owner to an agency potentially owner. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's just like, I've never seen it that way. I've always thought, okay, I offer marketing. I got to go service someone else that does a service, not like someone that was in my position before. So that's what I'm trying to learn through your processes. Like, okay, I need a segue.
Yeah, you need to pivot. I think so. I'll simplify for everyone here who's maybe starting out. The idea of building wealth with online is not to become a service provider per se. It's learning more than the niche itself knows. So as an example, let's say I want to go into real estate and help realtors. I'm not going to be the typical marketer who's like, oh, I'm going to get them leads. Hell no, fuck that. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to look at Ryan Serhant and I'm going to be like, hey, who are the top realtors in the entire world? And I'm going to break down exactly how they do everything. And then I'm going to come up with a protocol. I'm going to be like, hey, yes, they do have content. So that's layer number one. Layer number two, I want to understand how their funnel is structured. Then I want to understand how they book their calls. Then I want to understand how they follow up. Then I want to understand how they pitch, how they vet their clients. Then I'm going to take that and be like, hey, here's how to become a realtor that generates 9 figures a year. When you work with us, you're not buying me to buy leads. You're not buying anything. You're paying me a lot of money up front to come and install this entire infrastructure into your business. Based on what the top 1% is doing, I model it out and I take it and I implement it into your business. That is the offer. And that's what you sell. The reason why you need to sell this is because there's already so many more marketers who are selling ads for realtors. You're just going to become another one of those. And yeah, for sure, you could get a client after 3 months, 6 months. And even if you do get a client, you're making so little money that it's going to take you another 6 years for you to even get enough clients and enough profits to be able to survive in life. Right? So the idea is, how do we become sophisticated so we can beat time?
Right.
If you don't learn that leverage is how you grow wealth, it doesn't matter what you work on. You're going to keep working on the things that don't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Now, before we go, really quick. So what do you suggest? I know that right now the ticket for the AI obviously can't do it at the moment. However, I'm considering the community because I just came across that inside the WhatsApp. So do you feel like that information would allow me to kind of, because I feel like I'm trying to find some foundation. I don't want to keep turning my wheels on this part.
For sure. So check this out. How about this? You have the option. Figure out an NBL. I'm sure there's more content. You have to, because I create a shit ton of content, so there's a lot of material to go through. Even on YouTube, I think there's a lot. But how about this? If you're going to get to a point where you'd rather pay to buy back your time and get our team to help you out, just book a call with my team, figure out how we can get you started. Because for us, as an example, we already have ads that work in detail, as we already know how to pitch them. We already know what they buy. So you have the luxury to be able to pay. For sure, you're going to have to find the money to pay us, but we can solve the problem in a single month instead of you having to spend 3 months mastering everything, right? So it's the luxury.
Yeah.
So I know your question is there's no other way. The other way is you just got to pay for value. You got to pay for us.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
please speak with my team, and then we can always figure out how to get you in with a payment.
okay. All right, thank you.
Appreciate you.
You
Hey,
too.
Daniel, let's go. And then, I have 5 more minutes, so I'm gonna need 1 minute per. Because,
Hi,
or else
Serge.
I'm gonna
I
die.
have a quick question.
Please.
I'm on the MedSpan niche, and just wanted to ask if you have any insights on partners that. Sorry, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm
Am I
hearing you.
muted? Okay, okay. Regarding the advertising policies of Meta, ads getting rejected and accounts getting disabled.
Mhm.
Do you have any insights? I'm not talking on ads rejected because you show before and afters or blood or syringes, whatever. I'm talking on ads and accounts getting rejected because they haven't been something that's called legit scripted.
You're asking me how do we solve that problem?
Yeah, like if you have any insights from partners, you have data of people
Well,
working on the med Spanish.
for the campaigns, we warm up ads accounts before we scale them. We don't just launch ads.
Okay, fair enough. So no accounts disabled?
No. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure some accounts get disabled, but they always do, but like not when we warm them up the right way, not when we respect the policies.
Yeah, that's the thing because now they are pushing more. I don't know if you know what legit script is, but it's basically for telehealth companies or pharmacies. And MedSpa's the solution now is to get legit scripted. So that's
Oh.
gets like
No, well,
like a barrier, but
I haven't been in that, but I saw who's from said add account whitelisted, which I don't know what it is.
okay, perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Cool. Perfect. I hate to ask 1 minute, please. Let's go.
Yeah, sorry for bothering with another question. But you say earlier that selling BR for automated content using AI is not the best suited option, but we still have to fine tune the data and manage the editors, right? So can you tell me what are the upsides of selling the done for you or done with you models over BR?
Can you repeat that, please? I didn't understand.
So earlier you said that build and release model for automated content using AI is not the best suited option, but we still have to fine tune the data and manage the editors, which also consumes time. So, but you said that done for you and done with you models would be more suited over build and release.
I say you build something that you sell, implement into your business, and then you retain them on the content and AI solution.
Okay, got it.
Your
So
question,
we
question
build
is,
and release.
you build and release something that isn't the content, so something else, and then you retain on the content.
Okay, something similar to what you're doing right now.
Right.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
Hey, iPhone, you're next.
Hey, I've got a question about how do I gain the insights into establishing my own build and release offer?
AI.
AI? Literally just ask query AI.
No, just know the right way to do it, and then I think in NBL we have that training in. Are you in NBL?
Yeah, I'm in NBL. I just didn't see much of like actually developing your own like what do you call it, infrastructure, like A to B process. Well, I mean A to D process.
That's literally all that is in there. That's the only thing we focus on in NBL. So you're sure
It's in the circle?
What did you watch? What content did you watch in NBL?
So I did it's the step one, and it's like defining who your ideal avatar is basically, and explaining what a build and release offer is. I got to like the 7th video, and yous were like, at unless you're making like 10K a month, 20K a month, we advise you focus on these videos. I got up to that part.
I think there is if you go into the finding service market fit section, there is the use AI to create offers and select profitable niches. And then
I missed it.
So yeah, this literally live call researching trends, like that's literally it. So yeah,
Crap, sorry for wasting your time on that, bro. Thank you.
Ask the question and we'll send it in NBL.
All right, thank you.
Hey, is it Tim? Timotheus? You can unmute yourself now.
Hey, very quick question. And as a beginner, should I focus on outbound systems or inbound, or do both?
If you can do content, it's free. Do inbound and then do outbound at the same time. If you have money, do ads.
Yeah. Okay. So just do both.
Do one. I mean, if you have the time, if you have nothing to do all day long, yeah, do both. But if you don't have the time, do one of them, master one of them.
Yeah, I think as I go to school, I should focus on only inbound, so creating content and gain clients based on the inbound.
Yeah, you're gonna need a little bit of outbound though. No one is gonna come and flock to your offer like that easily. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Hey Andrew, last question and we end this.
Hey Serge, how's it going?
Good.
All right, so I'm fairly new to all of this. So this has been quite the learning experience for me. Don't really have much experience running an online offer, but I was curious to know from your perspective, isn't there like an impersonal aspect to running AI avatars for content? Because, you know, I've come across several of these individuals that you mentioned, but they're all showing their face. But how would it be when it's not necessarily a real face?
Well, these AI avatars are not, they're avatars, but they're avatars of the actual founder.
Okay.
Like the last ones that I showed you, this is a client right now, but like, instead of him having to build the content and do the reel and then figure it out, if we can just have the best script based on what's viral in the market and then get people to, what is it? Get people to, because you have to understand the efficiency of this AI is in two stages. It's first, of course, the easy one is like, oh, you get to save people time and effort. So they don't actually have to do anything. But the first most important thing is the fact that AI can study what works at scale for your market. So so since you're new, I'm going to kind of like explain how normally a typical advertising agency works or creative agency. In a creative agency or advertising, you have a copywriter. This person is paid $2, $3 grand, $4 grand a month. That's salary. You have another person who's going to do the editing, paid also money, or maybe you might have a bunch of editors. Then you also have a media buyer who's going to go research what are the audiences that work, what are the best packaging, what are the best whatever, right? What are the best? Should we do pictures? Should we do videos? So you have a bunch of people who in a single sequence, you're paying probably 5, 10, 20, 30 grand a month that normally do what the AI does for 34 cents.
Okay.
So it's in the level of efficiency provided by this system, even if it's impersonal and it's somewhat like, oh, but you know, it's not a real human and people might feel a certain way. No, trust me, people don't care. If you have a good and you can deliver it like at scale so many times, everyone is going to want it. So you're not just selling effortless and timeless kind of like application, but you're also selling like, hey, we know what works in your industry because we can search and scrape data faster than any human can do. Or even if we can't do it faster than a human, which is actually not true, we can do it faster than a human. We can literally have ideas into every single person who's competing with you and tell you why they're doing better than you. So you're solving two problems at the same time. Okay.
Got it.
But yeah, so yeah, that's it. All right, guys. If you want to do a payment plan for we got to book a call. Yeah. Yeah, there is a link. Can someone please send a link in the chat? Again, today and tomorrow, you guys can book a call. I think our calendar is probably already booked out for tomorrow. Calls are still coming in. Teo booked, Ade, Ziv booked, Nico just booked, Toby just booked, Cheyenne. Shout out to Cheyenne. Thank you. But yeah, so all of you guys who are booking a call, you guys are, if you guys, you guys are going to be able to sign up. You guys, if you guys want a payment plan, you guys are going to be able to get a payment plan. For those who paid in full, then you guys, let's speak tomorrow. Okay, but we're going to get everybody onboarded. And tomorrow we'll go through the onboarding session. Appreciate you guys. And I can't wait to apply these into the niches for those who want to get to work. And then let's make some money. But really, one thing before I end this, if this thing really cooks and cooks to the degree that I expect it to cook, this means that any single client will have the ability to create assets online that attracts their ideal client. And if you want to use this to actually sell it, you can resell it and it's almost like you're using a system to acquire your clients, and to these clients you're selling them the system that requires them the clients without them having to do anything. So then it's a crazy flywheel. So that's what I'm really excited about, especially for YouTube, short form and ads. Those are the main things that we're going to be applying. And thank you guys so much. Appreciate you all. Thank you guys for spending the last few hours with me. Love y'all. Bye-bye.